they added all those fucking rules.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to StatCheck episode beta testing. We are here to talk about the new balanced data slate, the first balanced data slate. We are finally playing an edition that has been balanced. Everything is perfect now. Every army will be 50% win rate. Every disposition will be 50% win rate. Every map is perfect. And we are ready to play this edition from now until the end of time, which is when Nasdaq comes out. How you doing, Jeremy? It's good to see you, buddy.
I'm here. I've had a rather stupid week.
That's fair. I've had a rather stupid day, so I can appreciate that you are also having a tough one because God damn it, why do they do these things to us 5 days before submission for
I love
WTC?
how
God, I'm so tired.
no one could have foreseen the level to which they would shake things up, but also the nothing burger that it is for so many others.
Why have they changed nothing, but everything is different?
Exactly. It's kind of like
they were like, how can we change?
I don't get it.
What can we change the least of that will fuck everybody's day over?
Exactly.
We'll make every disposition a little different. Fuck you, teams players. God, I could not imagine if I had a 5-man teams event that was using this pack, I would just not go right now.
There's one this weekend in Ottawa. 12 teams of 5 signed up. Our friend Rickard, and friend of the show, and kind of had said well ahead of time that if a patch dropped today, we were using it. So
pain, but I have booked in my Watcher in the Dark tattoo, so that's a nice thing. I booked it in for Tuesday so that I would be able to feel something after WTC list submission.
Smart.
All right, so there's been a balance patch.
Quite
a lot changed. A lot of armies got some pretty serious points changes. A lot of armies didn't. A lot of dispositions got changed for some detachments. A lot of dispositions didn't. There are like 4 new generic rules, but a whole bunch of erratas that are listed nowhere, so you just have to go find them, which I hate so very much. Why do I have to go searching for these? Why can't they just be in like some kind of like balanced data slate place?
It's the same thing with we talked about this when the rules pack dropped, where we were like, so I can go into my app and I can see some of the entries, but they're not written anywhere, and they're not in my book, and they're not in a PDF, or at least not in a PDF that everyone has. And then they just keep adding to those without any documentation around them. So like they changed how engaging consolidation works.
What did they change? Did they change? What did they change that one to?
Sorry, no, it's the objective consolidation.
Have they? I didn't find that in the app when I looked for it.
Thought they did.
They changed it in the Tacoma FAQ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the app.
Let me go take a look. Consolidate step. Objective consolidation. No enemy units within 3 of this monster unit, blah, blah, blah. Oh, your unit must be in it. It is in there. I'm just lying. But they've still not changed ongoing consolidations that it makes units eligible to fight with you when you move into them. And I hate that so very much. And I really wish that would change.
But what's the issue?
So if you're doing an ongoing consolidation, right? That you move like, so I'm in combat with a unit and there's another unit here, but there's a third unit over here that I pile into when I orbit my unit that I'm in combat with. That unit doesn't get triggered to fight.
Right. Because you can do that even though you are piling into, you're consolidating into the units that you're already engaged.
Now, doing an engaging consolidation to that unit would trigger it to fight.
Yes, because you are bringing them in.
Does not.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Honestly, it should just be that
8 times.
Like the last line on there should be any unit that just became engaged gets to fight.
Yeah, that'd be great. I also think they should get to pile in and consolidate, but they actually only just get to pile in if it's a consolidation. They don't even get to pile in; they just fight. They just stand there and hit you. They don't pile in, they don't consolidate. They just stand there and punch you because they've missed the timing.
Yeah, the fight phase still needs some
Dude,
work.
it's so broken. I was telling people the weekend, like, I'm not going to do this to you because it's bullshit and your army doesn't have fallback in charge, and you didn't know that this was going to happen. So I'm not going to do it to you because I'm already going to score 100 points, and I didn't do it to people. But I definitely could have a bunch of
Yep.
times.
Well, it's like one of the things that they missed in this update that I've been like, people keep asking me, and I keep going, they have to fix it, is devastating wounds and damage modifiers.
I'm back. I disappeared for a second. I don't know what happened.
Just saying devastating wounds and damage modifiers. There's currently
Yeah,
no rule that
I just like
explains how
put
they
my
interact.
fingers in my ears and was like, nah, 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 nah. My death knights have -1 damage. Nah, 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 nah.
And it's one of these things where just in the rules article that we published today, I even said just treat it like we did in 10th. We've been right about most of the other things where if there's a gap and we say treat it like 10th, they've just forgotten that they had to put a rule in about that.
I was definitely letting people use dev wounds to precision out my characters, so I'm going
Exactly.
to I'm going to
And
take my
today
-1 damage.
it now works that way. So
Crazy, crazy,
yay.
crazy. All right. What's the goal for today, Jeremy? We are going to go through. I was gonna say we go through everything, but man, there's a lot of everything to go through. But we're gonna go through the broad strokes, and we're gonna talk about what we like and what we didn't like about the armies, and that'll probably be it. We're gonna be here for way too long, as always. I would love to get to bed at like 12:30 midnight,
We
or half
we
12,
will
1
skim
o'clock.
through, and we may not go as deep into say factions because it's some of them are big, some of them kind
We'll
of
talk
like
about the important ones, right? What happened to the busted faction? What happened to the terrible factions? Let's do that stuff. But we can just do it. We'll do it all. We're just gonna the later we get, the less important your faction is to us. So
pretty much. Yeah, because Cliff put together a summary and it's 130 pages long.
sick. I'm gonna go get a ball of water. Fucking Jesus.
Because our lovely team member Cliff has figured out how to do deltas on the app data. So now we can actually pull through and go, huh. Well, that's easier to see. So like Sisters got 40 changes, but most of them were like typos and shit. And then a few of them are points changes. And then a few of them are rules changes. Like Eldari apparently have 68 changes, which is just, but again, most of them don't really do much. We just want to start with like game-wide changes, just kind of talk a little bit about the core rules changes and erratas that happened.
Sure. Tough.
You look a little shell shocked there, Innes.
Well, I don't want to think about it too much.
All right. Most of these things are common sense things. Some of them are clarifications. So the first thing is hazard rolls. If you have a rule that references a desperate escape test, in terms of like auto passing desperate escapes, that refers to the hazard roll because we know now that a desperate escape test is the hazard roll and the battle shock roll, but you only auto pass the hazard roll.
Oh, that's nice at least. I lied to someone this morning.
I mean,
this wasn't in the updates or the rules or anything. So how would I?
No, it's just inserted into one of the FAQs that had no documentation behind it. I'm very frustrated right now with all of this. They basically made it clear that if you happen to have a rule that modifies a hit or a wound roll midway through, so something like gives you like a crit hit gives you extra AP or something, you then just divide them into two pools and the attacking player chooses which pool you resolve first.
That makes sense.
Simple enough, but again, because fast rolling otherwise would just break with something like that. Like if you have
an extra roll any dice, stop rolling dice.
Yeah, like if you have an AP, if you have AP on a critical wound, it gets a bit messy. In other words, they just kind of say, no, just roll it out and then choose which order you do them in. Stratagems. They basically cleared it up again that if a stratagem forces a desperate escape, it's both a hazard roll and a battle shock test, which is very funny for some interactions like witches and the like. Objectives. This is a big one. So objective control is now the very first thing you check at the end of a phase before you resolve any end of phase abilities or rules. So the biggest change, the biggest thing that this impacts, and this was in the Tacoma FAQ, is Necrons. Because reanimation protocols is the end of the command phase. You can't reanimate, just take an objective because you check the objective control and then you get to
only reanimations. Everyone else gets to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Fuck Necrons. They had an entire edition of being good. They can be average. Not bad, just average. Like we said earlier, mortal wounds that have precision work just like we expected them to. You can just boop them onto the character. They had it a rule where you can't put precision on torrent or indirect, or rather, you can't put indirect or precision on torrent weapons.
Okay, that seems weird.
You basically can't flame characters to death.
I don't see why not. Are there any torrent precision weapons?
There's a bunch of strats that give precision to units.
Oh, okay, sure.
And so those get kind of wonky.
You can't aim your flamethrower, Jim. Stop it.
Exactly. You are just burninating the countryside.
That's, look, fucking what a non-issue.
Yeah. Big change, heals. They've now said that when a unit heals or regains a number of wounds, it basically will continue spilling over to heal, but you can't heal characters with that spillover.
Good.
So
change.
This fixes the Necron's infinite respawning characters problem inside or outside Awaken Dynasty. When coupled with all of the rules changes to resin characters now being their own unit, really gives them a good smack upside the head. So that's nice.
Yeah, good. I never actually had to play against the infinitely respawning Necro Warriors, and I'm really glad
I've never seen it actually happen. But
me neither. But the fact that it could made me mad. So
that's exactly it.
They gave,
and then they also said,
the Taken Hold disposition. I was so upset. They gave Adeptus Titanicus the Taken Hold disposition. That was a change.
I did have a good chuckle about that. We were going through it like, oh, there's an Adeptus Titanicus faction pack. What's in this? Oh, it just says that you play Taken Hold. Cool.
I mean, it was better. It was better than the alternative. It was way funnier when their army rule was we didn't play a game and we got a 10-10 because there was no board layout, the primary,
there's
missions,
no objectives,
no terrain. There was nothing. We got a 10-10 and the game ceased. We both scored 10 points for painted. You did have to bring the
army in reserves and do something.
Why? There's no deployment zone. There's no board. It doesn't, like, the board is defined by the terrain set, man, Jeremy. We don't have boards to deploy.
I was thinking of an empty board where I just like teleport units around.
You need to show me which board we're deploying on. How big is it? There's no rules for this.
Yeah. We ask you, Venom Thump's giving stealth to adjacent table. So, despite their best efforts, there are still a lot of typos in the updates. Venom Throps apparently now have a 6-foot range on their stealth ability.
Yeah, but it's okay because they need the help now that the Tyrannofexes can't kill a scout. So
maybe we'll actually see Venom Throps on the table now that they can affect your opponent's table.
You might see Venom Throps on the next table.
Yeah. Detachments. Nothing really changed there.
They changed the maps for a couple of dispositions. Purgatory got all his maps split in half.
6 maps for Purge changed. So basically, Purge always plays on 6 objectives now. And 2 for Recon versus Disruption changed. And that was basically to make it so you always had the same number of objectives in each other's territory.
Yeah, it got rid of being like Defender being like crazy broken for those.
Yeah, where you can have 2, 3, or 4 objectives and you kind of go, wonder which one I'm going to take.
I guess I'll take the one that gets me score 1,000,005 points instead of just 1,000,003.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just looking here. Yeah, so that's it for the major rules changes, I think. I'm just going through our Tabletop Battles article because we also wrote that up to make sure we covered everything. And I'll drop the link in here if people in chat if you want to check it out. But basically, oh yeah, they fixed tank shock and grenades, basically saying, hey, tank shock is just crushing impact and grenades is just explosives, which led to the funniest errata that I saw last night, which was that they changed the crushing impact, spelt the same as the new one in the orc book, to crushing impact with a K.
Very, very important.
Because you can't have the same name stratagem, do different things. No, definitely not. Don't dig too deeply into that.
That'd be crazy. Why would we do that?
Yeah. They made it clear finally, one way or the other, that you can take a enhancement in an attached unit that has an epic hero in it, but it has to be on someone else.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense. I think it's pretty reasonable.
funny part
There's some
about that
cool
is
applications
that
for that, but
one of the ones that was asked the most about it was the sisters
Hagiomon
Hagiomnifex.
effects, I think.
Hagiomnifex now says it only goes on a character model, so no more paragons with Vol, which is what they all wanted to do.
Yeah, you need a double attach to have it with an epic hero. So you can do it with like Triumph or Junith, but not with Vol, which I think
Yeah.
is probably fine. Vol did not need +1 strength.
Yeah, probably not too bad. Stratagem cost, they basically said that if it used to spend to 0, it now just reduces the cost by 1.
Which I think was a core rule last edition, along with like the 12 inches got changed to 18, and with the can't return more than 1 destroyed unit. These were all like generically added. That like the only
these were all things that were in there, and then just didn't make it through to 11th. But most of the rules had already been changed to reflect that, anyways. So it was kind of sure it's in there. They've said now that you can't make 2 more than 1 normal move in a phase. Unfortunately, that does open up I can advance and make a normal move if you want. And that's usually dealing with like reactive moves triggering in your own movement phase.
Yeah, so you can still like advance and like there are still some reactive moves that trigger in your move in any movement phase, not just in your
I think the Lun-Up
Lieutenant
Lieutenant is one of them.
Yeah, for sure. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. And then one of the things they said is that they've now codified, which we had just been kind of extrapolating from one of the Eldar enhancement FAQs, that if I use a Vect ability, so an ability that increases the cost on a stratagem, if you have the CP, you have to pay it. You don't have a choice. But if you don't have the CP, you get your initial CP back, and the stratagem counts as having been used.
Which I think makes sense to me.
Yeah. It's how it worked before, and because Vect is now an activated ability, there's a choice behind it. So giving the original player a choice as to whether they want to continue seems rather silly. You just spend a once per battle round ability to force your opponent to spend that CP they're saving.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yep.
Yeah, 0 CP and 10th was specifically stratagems were mentioned. So
there's still a couple of the name of the stratagem you could do it, but it does seem to be that they've kind of gone away with that, which is fine because most of these strats are 1 CP anyway, so reducing it by 1
I don't think there's
many
set to zeros left in the game anymore. Is there really?
No, there really aren't. The other thing that they pointed out is that, and this is kind of a weird quirk, but I don't really know what it affects. I guess, it affects Vect abilities in particular, is that if you have a strat that has a modal cost, so for example, Heroic Intervention, which has the 2 modes, where you add a CP to the cost to get the upgraded ability, that doesn't count as a modifier. It just sets the base cost to that new value, which then means that you can apply Vex to it.
Which I think is again how it worked last edition, right?
Yeah. I don't know if we had any like modal abilities.
I don't either think there was any.
Because there were things
maybe
like
some stratagems that like were more CP if you targeted certain things, but that was kind of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess modal is new.
And then you had things like you could like, for example, battle shock yourself to get a second ability. Those were the modal ones that we usually saw, or
So I think it's the first, like there's not very many modal cost stratagems ones. Yeah.
They've confirmed that Fly, Heavy, and Take to the Skies do actually interact the way that people have been saying they do, which is if you take to the skies, which means your vertical distance doesn't count against you in any way, and just go straight up, you can have Heavy. Doesn't matter how far up you went.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, and also kind of weird.
I guess if you have to declare it before you move now, they had to give it some kind of buff.
I don't know. I definitely didn't need
I forget
Scourge taking to the skies and getting heavy on their guns every time.
No, me neither. Tentacles, thank you for becoming a new member. You find the Discord link by connecting your Discord to YouTube in your connections in YouTube, and that should give you an automatic join through Discord.
Yeah, Discord should automatically add you to the Discord. If you don't, drop us a line at contact@gmail.com and someone will sort you out.
Probably Nathan or Jeremy. I don't do that. People message me
Lately, it's
about
been
that. I'm
Nathan.
like,
He's been a
that's
lot
not
more
my
on
job.
top of it.
Nathan's a good kid.
They have finally codified that you're capped at 1 CP in addition to the core CP per battle round extra. So no taking 3 tallimans and rolling 3 sevens and getting 3 CP. So that was again a like, yes, this is how everyone's playing it, but thank you for putting it in the actual rules now.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of this is stuff that was in like the Tacoma FAQ, right? Like none of this is like super new. So if you've read the Tacoma FAQ,
It's just
a lot
kind
of
of
this should be
codifying what
standard.
was in the FAQ versus what made
Did
it
they
over.
did they introduce the Tacoma fight on death rulings, or was that not present?
So the Tacoma fight on death wasn't a ruling; it was an FAQ because that interaction was already in the game. Just people didn't fully appreciate how it worked.
Sure. So that's just expecting that's just how it works, and that's
Yeah, I can
is
fight
that
on
more
death and
codified
lock you
now,
from
or
an
is that
Oberon
just
fight.
Yeah, but it's also like, do they fight on death with their rules active or not? Right? Because that's a
Oh, with the rules active, I'd have to look into that one, but I think yes.
because like the Tacoma FAQ codified that you did, and I don't currently really know. Like the core rules just kind of say destroyed models can't benefit from anything, even though they're destroyed in fight on death. It specifically gives them the ability to fight, but it doesn't do anything else, from my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened with that.
Me neither. I'm gonna go and see if there's anything on it.
I'm just gonna vamp in the meantime.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the rule currently says if the rule instructs a destroyed model to fight, blah blah blah. Instead, that model will not be off until they defeat the selected models used to fight all at once, and stratagems to target that unit will also affect the destroyed model. But it doesn't say anything about other abilities because other abilities are stopped when you say destroyed.
yeah, it's. I would say that you probably do because you're still part of the unit.
So it's what it currently says. So in 5.4.4 destroyed, it says some rules only trigger if an enemy model or unit was destroyed by you or a blah 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 blah. No, I'm reading the wrong rule. Unless otherwise stated, destroyed models and units cannot use any abilities or be selected or targeted by rules. And then in Fight on Death, it says destroyed models can fight and they can be affected by stratagems, but it doesn't say anything about using abilities or rules. So by my technically strict rules as written, really, if you fight on death, you can't use Oath.
Hmm.
And Tacoma clarified that you could, that you just benefit, that you just treated the model as still being on the table. You could still use, sustained hits, but sustained hits is an ability. You can't use sustained hits when you're fighting on death by the letter of the rules
Yeah,
because it doesn't specifically say you can. You get to roll your data sheets at your weapon profile with no buffs. Besides stratagems, specifically, because stratagems are specifically accepted.
yeah. I feel like this is something that definitely needs a further clarification.
Yeah, and Tacoma covered it, right? Tacoma just said, no, hand wave, it works, your unit exists until it dies or until it's removed. And this doesn't do that. So like leader abilities would vanish and all that kind of stuff because your unit can't use its abilities.
I wonder if they put it in the FAQs that no one that no one.
I didn't find anything when I searched fight on death, but the only thing I have here is that if you have deadly demise in a fight on death, the deadly demise is stored until you finish your fight on death.
I also love how they still have some of the old FAQs in here. CSM has the entry about when a model fights on death, can that model's unit make a dark pact? No, as the unit is not selected to fight. Even though now when you fight on death, it is explicitly when your unit is selected to fight. GW! Fix your shit.
Fix yo shit.
But yeah, I think that's the gist of all of like the core rule changes. They didn't change anything with missions. They didn't change any of the secondaries or anything like that. There were no changes to how like dispositions score things. Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like mostly like the ballpark stuff is they cleaned up like a couple of stuff back to the Tacoma version. And that was kind of it.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see where we settle on that. We want to talk a little bit about army changes then?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's should we just go from the top?
Sure. Space Marines?
All right, I'm just gonna share the MFM. Sure. Start with Space Marines, the most important.
I'm just going by the Tabletop Battles articles because they've
that's
actually we actually consolidated everything into there,
Oh,
so we don't have
that's
to
much
look at.
better. Let's do that instead. Yeah, fantastic.
Because reading through those documents is a pain. So Codex Space Marines, major changes. First Company, Emperor Shield, Hammer of Averni are now party assets. They used to be Purge. Firestorm Assault Force and Forge for the Seekers used to be Purge and are now priority. Or
Okay, this just doesn't matter. It's just confusing.
Yeah. Ironstorm is now taken hold instead of Purge, and
Sure.
Fulguris is now Recon instead of Disruption.
Sure. I like the change that they made to making like generically across the game no one DPs being Purge the Foe. I think that's a good decision to make it like you must commit to playing Purge the Foe.
Yeah, you got to take a 2. You can't just like slap on more toy in any of your Custodes detachments. Be like, I'm not taking any Dreadnoughts. I don't care. I just want to be Purge.
I think I agree.
Yeah. Ultramarines got a bunch of point hikes. Basically, every single one of their characters went up by 10 to 15 points. Most of their unique units went up. In terms of, there's Marines got a whole bunch of like 5 and 10 point increases. We're not going to go through all of them. The big one is Libby's went up 10 points. Aggressors went down 15 points for 6, which just seems 165 points for 6 of them seems really cheap. Especially in like
yeah, I mean, aggressors are
or
certainly
Forge
like
Father Seekers.
reasonably crazy.
Inceptors, there's a hilarious typo where apparently unless you play Codex Space Marines, you don't get to take units of 6.
Yeah, probably fine. Dark Angels, don't play them anyway. They're terrible.
But in reality, they went up 5 or 10 or for 3 or 6. Inferno squads, if you take the big brick, went up 10. And the other big one, Vanguard veterans now have the option of taking the war gear that you have in Armageddon. So you can get your mastercrafted power sword or mastercrafted power weapon, as well as your heavy bolt pistol with one guy taking a plasma. But you have to do it for the whole unit. So you can't just take like 2 storm shields with the regular weapons.
Yeah. Which I think is a good change. I think that unit is actually genuinely kind of interesting. I like it a lot for armies like Inner Circle, for Blood Angels, like Liberator, like really appreciates having a damage 2 unit. That's not just like Marines have a real glut of 70 to 90 point units that are damage 1, and having one that's damage 2 is kind of nice.
Yeah. Now they did go up 5 to 10 points depending on the unit size, but at 105 it's still pretty good. The Repex cost next went up another 15 points, but really it went up 25 points because you now have to pay 10 points for the laser destroyer.
Someone's lost the Repex a lot at GW recently, and it's just like, nah, 220, get them up 45.
Well, it's even funnier because
so expensive now.
When we talk about Black Templars, theirs went up to 285 base.
Theirs went up to 285 for Black Templars?
275 plus 10 for the heavy laser destroyer.
That's so many points.
Yeah.
That's so many points.
Yep. Land Spheres went up 10, but they got rid of the stepper cost on the third one, so they're just always 105. That's honestly fine. That data sheet's still quite good.
Honestly, I think you could have left the stepper.
Probably. Apparently they figured Ironstorm Spearhead's Flesh's Weak enhancement was too cheap, and they went from 10 to 20 points.
It probably was too cheap, but also they put the Gravis Captain up as well, so, you know, I don't think...
Yeah, they double tapped that guy being annoying. And of course, the really funny thing is the Combi Lieutenant went up another 10 points. They have finally detected him and are making sure to hit him every update.
Dude, hidden is so much worse than loan up, and he's apparently only hidden now. He's not loan up.
And then the silliest update, which every single army saw this, transports are cheaper now.
I mean, they are a lot worse.
They are a lot worse. A Rhino is now 65 points.
Trucks are like 55 now, which is
crazy. Trucks are 55 for the first 3. Isn't that what they were at 10th launch?
I think so. Like, all I'm saying, Rhinos were, when I started playing Rhinos, were 35 points. So, you know, it's still got ways to go.
How much does it cost? But they were an upgrade on a unit.
Yeah. As opposed to now where they're an upgrade on a unit.
Well, no, because you can switch which unit goes inside them.
For sure, but they still start at that.
Yes. Yeah, and then in terms of rules changes, they put Vengeful Host in there. We've already seen what it does. It's the new detachment. It's fine. It's got some cool things. They added a rule on Oath that none of us really fully understand, but we're pretty sure it's just to prevent you from doing Bloodless Angels again. But by taking like a 1 DP one as well as a Codex Space Marines.
Keep coming for me.
Just so you
Every
can get your
day I'm
+1
just
to wound.
fighting
It
these
seems very awkwardly
ridiculous
worded because it
nerfs.
basically says if you take any units from any of the Codex non-compliant MFMs, then you don't get the +1 to wound. And they're just like, but doesn't that just? And we went, you know what? Fine.
We get what they meant. Move on with your lives.
Exactly. So Stormlance saw 2 changes. 1, Shock Assault doesn't require mounted, and doesn't give you rerolls, but just gives you lance, like rerolls to the charge.
Great for Blood Angels. Blood Angels love this change. Finally, there's a damage strat in Stormlance, and they get it for 2 DP. I think this is super cool if you're looking for like some cool Stormlance builds. There's a bunch of interesting stuff you can do with that now, like
I did not
Legacy of
think about
Grace,
that. That is quite good.
Carmine Spear Tip, and the new one, Vengeful Horse, all pair really well with this for Blood Angels. So if you're looking for something fast and aggressive, BA Stormlance is a place to have an exploration, I think.
There you go.
I don't think it's the best way to play Space Marines, but if you want to play Blood Angels, it's probably a really good way to play Blood Angels.
Yeah. And then Ride Hard, Ride Fast, which is the -1 to hit, -1 to wound strat for mounted or fly vehicle, now loses the -1 to hit because they're
it's probably
one of the
worth
big
talking about
changes
that,
that we did
like,
see in this
quickly
update
now.
for a lot of the armies is getting rid of the ability to stack minuses to hit with cover.
Yeah. So basically, if you're not Fulgrim, your -1 to hit will not apply, will not also stack with cover now because it needs to be basically a stratagem that does it, or specifically like a Primarch level.
And even
ability
most
that
of the
doesn't.
stratagems that used to do it were changed.
But there are definitely still some that give it, which is nice.
Yeah. So like GSC Enjoyer points out in chat, Sisters kept their -1 with some nerfs because now it only applies to infantry.
Only.
You can't do it to vehicles.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that there's like still some that are good, but
yeah,
it's probably good that it's not generically game wide. Like definitely I will say that my in Inner Circle Task Force, or my Inner Circle Companions unit in my army with -1 to hit from a librarian being led was really fucking annoying people at the weekend, and that changing is probably a good thing because
and I mean they still get stealth and they still get the -1 to hit in combat, which is the big thing that
people were kind of there for.
Yeah, and it was something that people were frustrated with the Death Guard change, where the -1 to hit changed to just in melee and not even getting like stealth or something at range,
which was a terrible change, to be fair.
It was
fair,
and so that's why, like, if you're going to do those reworks, it's very easy to do the rework appropriately. You just might have to write a couple extra words. Spear Point saw the same change to evasive maneuvers. Basically, you lost the -1 to hit, you just get the -1 to wound.
And its Lance also changed. Its Lance already gave +1 to hit to everything, right?
Yeah, it already gave.
They were just bringing Stormlance in line with Spear Point, I think.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like a lot of the mounted specific strats just kind of got opened up to just Astartes, as we'll see with Archangels. Yeah. So for Librarius, 2 enhancements changed. Fusillade now doesn't give anti-monster vehicle 5-up. It now just gives you lethal hits,
which is cool. I think it's very funny that lethal hits is on the front half and sustained hits is on the back half, but because usually those are like lethal hits is usually considered worse than sustained hits. I would have said. I know it's not, but like in terms of like the things you're putting a librarian with, it probably should be. But it is very funny that just like no, sustained hits is the harder one to get. But yeah, like it definitely makes it infinitely worse on flamers.
Yes.
Poor Infernus Marines got taken out back and, not quite precision shot, but shot. It's still pretty good on Sternguard, Hellblasters, and Intercessors.
Yep.
It's still pretty good on Temp Terminators. It's still a fine enhancement. It just isn't like look.
And it also copped a 5 or 10 point hike.
Yeah. I should not be allowed to one tap a Guo 2 turns in a row with the same unit. It just shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Yeah. Like
that was too much.
I shouldn't be allowed to one tap a Defiler at 24 inches.
Defiler is not even a hard target for that unit.
No, but it's funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
This weekend I was playing a game against T-Suns and I put a speeder out as bait. He moved his 1 Defiler out to kill the speeder, and the Sternguard popped out from behind the ruin and went, no.
Yeah.
You hurt our friend. And then Temporal Corridor got a slight rework. You now can't be engaged when you get picked up. But, yeah. And I know.
My Deathwing Knights missed that very badly.
Yes, they do. However, you now can do a turn 1 ingress move with them,
which is pretty good too. So yeah, this seems quite good. This honestly might be the thing you just like put on your third brick instead, right? You're just like, you know what? I want a teleporting shooting unit to help apply pressure and get around the board, and I think that'd be totally fine.
Yep. Blade Guard, one of the most awkward questions that we had to deal with at one of the
The
judge
real
shows
ones
I
to
had was
save.
how do you
Yeah.
handle Blade Guard with an attached unit, like Wardens of Ultramar. Well, now you don't have to worry about it because now Blade Guard choose when they are selected as a target or when they are selected to fight to either be -1 to be hit or to have +1 to hit, and you only get one of those abilities per turn. So
Yeah, I mean that does seem it does seem fine, right? +1 to hit or -1 to hit are both pretty relevant buffs
yeah,
for Blade Guard.
and
Like,
it solves the how do you handle re-rolling invulnerable saves when we don't roll invulnerable saves anymore.
yeah. They also, I think someone in the Goonhammer article said something about when Makari gets if you precision at Gazgul while Makari's alive, Gazgul can't command roll a save because Makari's in the allocation group.
No, it's actually so long as Makari is on the battlefield, his unit cannot re-roll
Yeah.
saves.
So you just like because Makari's in the allocation group of the activation, like he is somewhere in the declared sequence, you can't reroll the save, right?
Yeah,
That's just how it works, which is super funny.
yeah. So shoot some las cannons at some precision las cannons at Gazgul and make them cry. That company heroes can now be unattached at the beginning of the game. I don't know why the hell you would do this, but sure.
They're a 105-point chaff unit with a damage 3 heavy bolter that I still sometimes forget is damage 3.
Yeah, I guess.
But I don't think it's like broken, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah, you can do it. Gilman got mobile. That's kind of cool. Tiggy got the same rework they were talking about with Inner Circle Companions. His unit now has stealth and then -1 to be hit in melee. So no stacking cover with -1 to hit, but you
Which
do
is
still have the
good.
effective same base ability as he had in 10th.
Yes.
Uh, Intercessors got a really funny change in that you now choose a unit to get your +2 shots against, and just any unit that targets any of your intercessors that target that with the bolt rifle get the +2 attacks. So you
How
can split
dare
fire.
you not split? Yeah, no. The fact that you can like split fire out, whatever you want now is kind of stupid, but whatever. I've definitely had times where I'm like, only these 5 intercessors shooting because those 5 intercessors represent more damage than me splitting the unit.
Yep, I've done it too.
And now you don't have any consequences for your actions. Why would there be consequences for
Yep.
your positioning
Now I can
mistake?
put all my bolters here, and my grenade launcher is Nazriel there.
Yep, and that's probably fine.
Yep. Yeah, so that's it for core Marines. Black Templars, Godhammer from Disruption to Purge, Living Miracle from Purge to Disruption. This is the one. This is
notably as well though for intercessors, it does not work on Overwatch anymore
correct
because
because
it
it
is
is in your shooting phase.
So big sad for Inner Circle Task Force. That was very much a play pattern I liked.
That was very funny. Would you like to move anywhere within 24 of this brick?
No.
Oh, you don't? Your poor little Eldar unit just want to get shot by 40 bolter shots that have sustained lethal?
It was so good.
So yeah, the Living Miracle change, this kind of reflects the 1 DPs not getting access to Purge. Godhammer becoming Purge, it kind of is a glow up because it was Disruption before, but and then one of the other changes that has been kind of just consistently as part of the cleanup in today's update is that all of the like reactive moves or choose a target within X range that were 9 inches before have now been properly set to 8 inches. So in this particular case for Black Templars, it's Heresy begets Retribution from Companions of Vehemence. Vehemence?
Vomance. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's probably pronounced like Lobera or something like that. But
in terms of points, most of their like bespoke characters went down. So the Emperor's Champion, Execrator, Marshal, Helbrecht.
like, look, we're putting the reflexes up so much that we have to give you something.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's 265 for the.
Oh, okay. That's not as bad as I thought. It's only 10 points.
It's 285 for the
when
third
you were like
one.
20 points more expensive, I was like scared. But
yeah, no, it's 285 for the third one because you're definitely not touching that. And Grimaldus went down to 10. Not really too much to talk about in terms of Black Templars. They kind of
they're an army that continues to exist. It was a little sad that Living Miracle got changed away from Purge the Foe because it's now like you can't now play Ironstorm plus Living Miracle Purge the Foe, and I thought that was a fun detachment. But
that was fun. You get to play Take and Hold with Ironstorm now.
You do, but I like purge the foe with like 3 rep hexes and some sword brethren. There was a really
Yeah, I
cool
don't
list that
like
I
that.
did when I did my review that was like 3 rep hexes, a sword brethren, 3 rep hexes, 3 sword brethren squads, and an assault squad with living merc with the champion, and that was the entire goddamn list. And it was like, yeah, that's the kind of thickness I'm down for.
Yeah. Blood
I'm
Angels.
bad for that thickness.
I almost want to just skip right over them because this is kind of sad.
Sanguinor gets to play the game now, and fuck all else changed.
Yeah, that's basically it. Angel's Host makes it clear that the
Who?
upon Wings of Fire rule, you
No one's
do
ever
get to
played
make a
Angelic
turn one
Host,
ingress.
Jeremy. Jeremy, stop making up Blood Angels detachments. Tower already crying in the corner. You don't have to make up more Space Marine ones.
All right, Dark Angels. They got, I think, more changes than Ultramarines did.
Dark Angels got tons of changes, and they were all broadly pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Like
Company
there
of
was a couple
Hunters,
nerfs, a couple buffs, but broadly I came out like, I'm pretty happy with Dark Angels right now. I had a good time with it with the weekend, and this seems like it will make them continue to be pretty good.
agreed. And my second favorite way of playing them, which is Ravenwing, got more or less buffed in Company of Hunters. So they did tweak it slightly. It used to trigger off of Ravenwing. The Ravenwing keyword basically doesn't show up here anymore, aside from in the enhancements. Now it gives you, so it still gives you advance and shoot, fall back and shoot, except now they've given it the 11th edition wording where your ranged attacks have assault, and making a fallback move does not make you
Ineligible to be selected. Yep.
And then for the advance and charge and fallback and charge portion, it's now just mounted units that get it. So you used to have it for Ravenwing, which was flying vehicles. You basically lost it on speeders.
My advance and charging Storm Raven's very sad.
Yes, it is. Because it was very funny to tank shock someone with that thing.
Goddamn hilarious, yes.
Yeah.
But
however, you could still do that because now Death on the Wind, which was an absolute garbage strat before, is now just advance and charge for a Stardies unit.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah. So basically you have advance and charge, fallback and charge with all of your mounted, which is all of your bikes. And then anything else in the army can still advance and charge. So if you want to advance
it's
and charge,
nice that they're doing a lot of this, like very clearly. They're just kind of going through and being like, oh, how do we make these detachments comparable to Gladius, right? How do we we just need to give them something that resembles a ability buff so that they can actually play the game in like a slightly more fair way. And I think that this is.
And it also takes stratagems that were basically never used or very situational and saying, no, now it has a broad applicability.
And I think it's okay for detachments that are good to have bad stratagems where you're like, Blades of Ultramar probably didn't need a 7th good stratagem, right? So if you were going to change one of Blades ones, it would be okay to make it worse. Like Pac-Man Zealots having the Eye of the Gods one, right? It's like, you probably shouldn't change Pac-Man Zealots' Eye of the Gods to be an advanced and charge stratagem, right? But Company of Hunters wasn't exactly out there breaking the meta. It was doing well. There were there was a couple of 6-0 lists. The Greek one, the one from the Greek event that was playing 30 bikes. It's pretty good. But this is definitely a bit different.
Yeah. And then the other strat that got changed was Talon Strike, which previously this strat was this read like a Chaos Space Marine strat in that it had 4 riders to make it work. So you had to be a mounted unit targeting an infantry character or mounted character, and then you got +1 to wound.
You were exactly chasing the other
shooting or fight phase. Now it's just Lance for any Astartes unit.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Does notably mean it doesn't work with anything that already has Lance, which I don't think there's a ton of in Space Marines, but there's probably a couple things here and there that have it that I'm not thinking of. I can't think of anything in regular Dark Angels that has it, but I might be missing something.
I can't think of anything that has it in Base Marines or Dark Angels.
Sabodin is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking of too. Yeah. But you can't take him because he's.
I think that's literally it. Lance is not a super common keyword across Space Marines.
Yeah. Now it does mean that it doesn't work with, say, chaplain buffs, which give you the +1, but
it already didn't, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it cancels out a -1, right? If you're charging into a Calgar Vitrix unit or something like that, it's still whatever.
Yeah. But and then Unforgiven Task Force, which is a fake detachment. The Shroud of Heroes enhancement, which is just the stand back up.
One with Unforgiven Task Force. I don't think they're going to continue to because they were probably only winning because of Librarius, but it's a real detachment. Fair. It's a real boy. If you want to play Inner Circle Task Force but as Taken Hold, you can play Unforgiven Task Force. And I bet it's way better into Plague Legion than my list was.
Yeah, because it keeps OC when it gets battle shocked constantly.
It's actually not that hard to have a battle shocked unit or two in a Marine army nowadays as well.
So. Oh yeah, especially because you have to keep taking the test once you become battle shocked.
Yeah, dude. I would 100% just run 3 solo characters in a fucking impulsor. Just be like, come on, kill it.
So Inner Circle Companions, Got the same change that Tiggy did, so they now have stealth or -1 to be hit in melee. Like, yes, I can't make defilers hit me on 5s anymore with
Crazy.
cover.
I should be allowed to do that as a treat.
But you can do it if you're in combat with them.
You can.
So just be in combat with them.
Should be allowed to do all of it as a treat. I should be allowed to
That
do
would be
4
nice.
things. They should be able to make them hit me on 7s. I've been a good boy.
The Lion gained mobile to go along with his brother. They kind of borked the update on Mystery Shadow Realms, which is his uppy downy ability.
Hey, they didn't bork it. It could do exactly one thing now that it couldn't do before.
What's that?
Just read it out. It's fine. You can start with
what can it do that it could?
Nothing. Well, it can do one thing now that it could before in 11th edition, right? It can do one new thing.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can. If
What is it?
you go second, you can pick it in your command phase and then drop on turn 1.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because you use the ability in your opponent's turn.
Sorry. What are we? Yeah, but you use the pickup at the end of, but it still just gives you the ability to come down on turn 1, right?
No,
or is that not a thing it does?
Because the thing that gives you the ability to come in on turn 1, that is part of the ability that you use at the end of your opponent's turn.
Stupid.
Basically, to explain to people what happened here is the Lion got the same update wording as all of the other uppy downies that are supposed to allow for a turn 1 ingress play.
Thank you for the $5 in Tet Dreamer. If we get to your army within the 2 hours, we will do our best to tell you what we think has changed for that army and what you should consider. But you're gonna.
He says, "Help me, Inner Circle. I'm drowning."
Yeah, if it's Dark Angels, listen to this section, brother. You should play. Well, Inner Circle Task Force is really cool, and Company of Hunters seems really cool, and you should play one of those.
Yeah, Company of Hunters, Dark Flight, Inner Circle, and
probably still Librarians. Really, just like if you really want to, like, just take my list, change Temporal Guard to be on the Stormguard unit instead of Fusillade, and then cut like a chaff piece or downgrade a chaff piece, and it'll be fine. You won't notice that badly. It's strong enough.
Yep.
That list rips. That list rips so hard.
So much fun. Basically, they gave him the same wording as other uppy downies, so to allow for the turn 1 ingress. The problem is
they gave him no way to trigger the turn 1 ingress. Yeah,
because the timing on his ability, you don't choose for him to have it until your command phase, and his pickup used to be in your command phase, but it's now to the end of your opponent's turn. So you don't get to pick up till turn 2, or you can pick up turn 1 if you go first, but you still can't come in turn 1. So I think they need to fix it just so the pickup happens at the end of your turn. The thing is, they just copy pasted the same entry that every other one had for those. And yeah. Nephilim, no longer -1 to be hit, but now it's just always -1 to be wounded when you shot it. Don't care. A change that we're not entirely sure about, but is very funny. The Ravenwing command squads are apparently support now.
Which is cool. It gives
I don't
some
know
interesting
why.
options. It's probably very powerful. It seems quite good.
That being said, however,
strong.
While the change is in the faction pack,
it's not in the app.
It's not in the app, and the MFM still lists them as leader. So I don't know if this is a real change.
Fantastic. That's my favorite. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, and I'm just like, huh? If it's real, it's really funny because you could do Samael, them, and Black Knights, or Samael, them, and Outriders. And we'll talk about Samael now because Samael is really funny. Samael, now, they've updated his wording to 11, so you still get Assault, you still get the ability to advance in charge or fall back in charge. However, his unit now gains mobile, which means that entire brick of 9 bikes in Samael can go wherever they want.
Yes,
the only thing that this thing is missing is the unit having fly.
Yeah, just don't do that. It's probably for the best they don't have fly. I mean, they do have the fly keyword, so they can still have dark flight keywords, but
dark flight pursuit means it ignores cover.
Oh no, all 8 of my bolter shots will ignore cover.
I mean, no, because the bikes, the command squad have the plasma talons.
Oh sure, yeah, I guess. And then you put your ATV in there for the Gatling cannon for some dev wounds.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
Can't res the ATV with the apothecary. Those fucking bullshit. Fuck it.
Actually, you know what you could do is chaplains give you dev on shooting.
They do.
So you could do that plus Outriders plus
chaplains aren't support, so you can't have them in Samuel.
No, but you can have them in the command squad.
Oh yeah, but that sucks. What do I want to do that for?
I know Samuel's better.
I could do 2 mortal wounds on average, or I could just grenade and play a real character.
They updated the dark shroud, so it just gives stealth. It gave stealth and cover before, yada yada.
It's also like
Sounds
70 points now, by the way. This thing
I
is
know.
like very
When we get
cheap
to the
for a
points
movement
change, I was
14
just like,
model.
it's 70 points for a 9 wound T8 hull with a 5-up invuln.
And movement 14 for some
Yeah, like
reason.
it's pretty
Well, is it
cheap
good?
for what it
No, but it's
does.
certainly fast.
Yeah,
I think if there was
it's
more
a good
terrain on the
little, really
board,
annoying to
like,
kill action
if
monkey.
this was 70 points on WC board last edition, it would have been crazy. But I don't think it's that good now,
Yeah.
relatively. But it's still, if it could still advance in charge, maybe that's what
Uh,
went down.
the Dark Talon stasis bomb now works,
Who
where at the
cares?
end
Move
of
on.
no, but it's funny. At the end of your
No,
opponent's
it's
fight
not.
phase,
Brother,
you get
I
to
have a
pin a
time
unit in
limit.
combat.
Come on, we're not talking about the Dark Talon when I have a time frame.
Yeah, all right, all right. In terms of points, Nephilim went down 15. Black Knights got rid of their stepper cost. Command Squad went down 10. Dark Shroud, as we said, is 70. Inner Circle, the six model unit went down another 10 points because they got worse. They
They
did,
did get
but
worse. They
they
actually
didn't
don't
need
need
to
their
go down.
character to get the -1 to hit now as well, which is kind of interesting. But I still think a 3-man doesn't
Huh.
fucking do anything. So
Did they actually?
but the ability just changed, right? It just is now they have -1 to hit and stealth. It doesn't say anything about being led now, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Huh, weird. All right. That's cool. Vengeance went up 10 points. Samael went down 10. So
Choices were made.
yep. Deathwing Knights didn't really change in cost, but they moved the stepper from second unit to third unit. So if you're running 2 units of them, your list went down 20 points.
Yep.
And then the line went down another 20 points. He's now 265, which is pretty cheap. And if they fix his ingress move, then things get funny.
Certainly, he's very cheap now. 265 is not a lot for the Lion. Very interesting in basically any detachment that could justify running. If you're gonna play my army, just take the Snark Brick out and put the Lion in. Go be a man, punch people in the face. They did not fix his injured move, Astra. We spoke about that a couple of minutes ago. The trigger on it still requires you to have gone back in reserve, which you can only do in your opponent's turn, which means you can't do it before turn 2 because you won't have both had a command phase and an opponent's end of fight phase at the same time until turn 2.
Yeah. But all right, Death Watch, nothing changed. Moving along. Sorry, Blackspear is now purged.
Death Watch got worse. Yeah,
Death Watch got considerably worse.
They lost the best disposition of the game, and now they play one of the averagest ones.
Yeah. Space Wolves, Champions of Fenris got the opposite. They went from purge to priority, so it got buffed. A bunch of their characters went down. Arjak down 10, Iron Priest down 5, Logan down 10, Y'all down 10, Ragnar down 10. Terminators got tweaked a little bit. They went up 5 basically. And Wolf Scouts are now 90 points for 6 models, which with the dog actually pretty good.
Yeah, look, they're probably all right. The problem is you still have to play Space Wolves to use them, and
that's the fundamental issue. But if you are a Space Wolf enjoyer, no judgment.
I'm looking at you. You are not Forest Phantom. Do not try to be Forest Phantom.
And that's fundamentally the changes for them. The rules changes for them again are clean up to 11th edition. There was no functional change in how any of them works. And that's Marines.
That is Marines.
Just fine. Imperium or Chaos next?
Let's do Chaos. We just did a bunch of Imperium, and no one gives a shit about Imperium. I'll have to watch both halves of the show. The first half of the show, if it's all Imperium. Plus, I want to just titillate the Agents players who are all waiting to hear what we have to say about them.
Ooh, valid. Chaos Demons. Lords of the Warp Detachment disposition. It went from Purge of the Foe to Taken Hold because it's a 1 DP detachment.
Yep.
In terms of point changes, Beast went up 5. Blood Crushers went up 10 for 6. Fluxmaster went down 10, but that's because it got the same change as all of the other -1 to hit abilities. It's now stealth and -1 in melee. Kairos went up 10. Loader Change went up 20. Shalaxi went down 25.
Look, she still probably sucks. She's so expensive still, and she still doesn't.
And then
she was up to 450 at one point. I think they're still just reversing the first points increase she got when she went up to from 320 to 450.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
She's 315 now. She's still so expensive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think 350 might be fine.
The Infernal
Though.
Puppeteer enhancement went down 5 points, but that's fine because you'll never see it, because now it just gives the demon, the model holding it, plus 9 inches detection range.
Hey, it changes it from 12 to 18 because that's how long your gun's range is.
Sure.
Plus 3 detection range is a crazy enhancement, bro.
Yeah, but it's just until that unit is shot, so you don't even get to like extend it for other people.
No. It's a puppet, not a fucking strobe light. They should run the infernal strobe. They should run the infernal lighthouse if they want to do well, not an infernal puppet.
Yeah. Shadows of Chaos, they basically clarified for the detachment rule that you don't get to bring characters back, and also that you don't get to bring back battle line units, battle line models, if there's no battle line models left, because it won't have the battle line keyword.
Good change.
Again,
good change.
As we were kind of explaining, Realms of Chaos now explicitly says you can make an ingress move turn 1 if you pick up the unit.
Sure, probably fine.
Plague Legion can't bring back characters with fetid resurgence. Shouldn't have worked in the first place.
You can't play Slimix and 2 Beasts in Nurgle, dumbass.
Why not just do Slimux in 1?
You ever wanted to be the most miserable man alive?
Slimux is great. He makes all of those terrain pieces into
No,
shadows.
I'm saying the person playing against it. They're just rezzing Slimux.
No,
you know, 100%.
T10. Thieves of Pain, despite Legion of Excess has been done dirty ever since it initially came out, and I don't blame them. But now it is when targeted instead of when the attack is allocated. So you don't even get to see if they've wounded you yet.
Like, I gotta burn this. I gotta set the CP on fire in case I get -1 to wound. I guess whatever. Legion of Excess is barely a real army.
Yeah. Kairos' one head looks back. His Vect now works like all the other Vectoras.
Did it not for a bit?
Yeah, it got worded weirdly.
Fuck's sake. It's always worded weirdly.
Screamers lost frame. Good. Shouldn't have had it.
I mean, it matters a little less now they don't have Puppet, but it was still really stupid.
Yeah, because you could cover.
So, like 15 inches of ground with 3 Screamers?
Yeah. So for demons, Chaos Knights. A bunch of disposition changes. Infernal Lance is now priority, which I would say is a buff because it was purged before. Lords of Dread is taken.
Anytime you get purged to prio, unless you're exactly like a 5 model army, it's a buff.
Yeah. And even CK isn't a 5 model army unless you are like hell of a skewing. Lords of Dread has taken hold, and Bastions of Tyranny is priority. And I believe Bastions was the 1 DP one that got changed from Purge to priority.
Sure. No one cares.
Huntsman and Stalkers went down 5. Traitorous Lance, the Storm of Darkness strat, now gives -1 to hit and melee. It didn't before.
Can you tell me what the timing is on that stratagem?
Oh, God, I don't want... No, I can't, but I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to get really sad. Oh, does it only work in the shooting phase?
Yeah, brother.
Nice. Thanks, GW. Storm of Darkness. When your opponent's shooting phase, just after the enemy unit is selected its targets. Target. When Chaos Knight unit is selected, yada. Effect. Your unit has stealth. Melee attacks to target your unit have -1 to hit rolls. Okay. All right. And for anyone who does not know, if a stratagem doesn't define when it ends, it lasts until the end of the phase by the core rules. So I guess just
if your opponent has an unlocked phasal fight on death, I guess.
There you go.
I don't know if any of those still exist.
But again, it's during your opponent's shooting phase. That means that they have died and are fighting.
Yeah, they died to their own hazardous check and then fought on death to you.
They died to their own hazardous check, but they're also in combat with you. And
yeah, look, I don't want to think about it. Strat's terrible. Strat, it's not a bad strat. It's still -1 to hit, but Strat's
the Abominance Volkite ignores cover. It should have in the first place, but sure.
Why should Volkites ignore cover? Is that a thing that Volkites do?
It's a combustor. It's a flame generating
no, Sharok, you cannot start the line in reserve because he has to use the ability at the end of your opponent's command phase, or the end of your opponent's turn, and you have to have had a command phase. So in order to do that, it will be at least turn 2 before you can use his ability.
They messed it up and it doesn't work. That's the simple answer. They wrote a rule that doesn't do anything.
Hey, it
They
does
tried.
something. It just
Yeah,
doesn't
it
do the
does.
right thing. I don't know
It's
why they
also
changed the
funny.
trigger to not be just at the in your command phase pickup, but
Well, it's because they copy pasted the entry. That's
yeah,
clearly
that's
what
probably true.
happened. Because it has the
But
same wording as the Calidus Assassin, as Grey Knights, as so many other things that now allow the turn one ingress move.
yeah, that's probably true. But I get to be a little bit mad about it because it's funny.
Yeah. The Knight Ruinator, its ranged weapons went from 2d6 to d6 plus 6 shots on all of them.
So you will go from never seeing the Knight Ruinator to never seeing the Knight Ruinator.
Yeah, pretty much. Flamer's kind of cool.
You could tell me that this data sheet didn't do anything and that hadn't changed, and I would never notice because no one has ever. I have never seen one of these on the table, and I play more Warhammer than most people on the planet. So
Play more Warhammer in a month than most will play in their lifetime.
that's honestly, I mean, like based on the average of all Warhammer players or all people, because yeah, it's definitely true in the first,
All
in the
Warhammer
second
players,
group.
I would say.
I
I
only
would
play
say
like
I would say that you play more
20,
in a month
30.
than like 50% of Warhammer players will play in their
That's
lifetime.
probably true. I probably vastly overestimate how much people play Warhammer. Like if people are like a one game a month kind of person, yeah, they might play 20 games in a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean, if
definitely
you
do
play
more than
20
that.
games in a week,
I definitely don't do that. I'm not a psychopath, but
all
I'm not that kind of psychopath.
right. CSM,
Woo, good changes. I like these changes. These changes felt like they were
Murder
almost well
Talon, which is
considered.
a 1 DP, went from Purge to Reconnaissance. Soulforge Warpack, which I think is a 1 DP, went from Purge to
It's a
Taken
two.
Hold. It's 2? Okay.
The ones are Cabal of Chaos and Murder
Okay.
Talon and Devotees of Destruction.
And I do believe that it means that their only access to Purge now is Bile,
Yes, that is true.
which is a 3. So pretty locked in, but I mean, don't play Purge.
Defilers don't get to be Purge, dumbass. If you want a Defiler, bring a scoring unit.
Abby went up 10. Chaos Lord went with Jump Back went down 10. The Annihilator and Destructor went up 10 because every other Chaos Predator, Annihilator, and Destructor went up 10.
Dude, I hate this married point shit. Why can't we just have units be different in different armies?
The Marine ones didn't, but the CSM,
Well,
East,
those are Chaos Predator Destructors.
Death Guard, and T-Suns ones all went up 10, and that's because of the T-Suns.
They're just like, oh, people are going to be looking for something to replace the Defiler. Let's make them mad about it.
Yeah. Rhinos went down 10, so they're also 65 points like everyone else's Rhinos.
CSM Rhinos are really good.
Chaos Terminators went down 5 to 10 points. Don't take them. If you want a really funny, if you want a really good laugh, go look at StatCheck member Tim's study on CSM over the last little while in the StatCheck Discord, where he's been looking at the influence of including a unit on your army's win rate. And I think that Terminators are like one of the worst units you can include in your army right now in terms of how it affects your win rate.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is because people keep playing Warp Strike champions, but you know,
quite likely. Defilers went up 20 points effectively. They went up 10 points base, and then the guns went up 5 points more each.
Yep, all good changes. I think broadly no one's complaining. They also notably did lose their wound rerolls.
They now don't get wound rerolls
only
at
rerolls
all.
of 1.
Yeah, just the ones. I think that they should have kept it, but they just always take 3 mortal wounds when they fail their Dark Pact.
I think they should always take 3 when they packed. I think they should just take 3.
I'm fine with that. They get 6 activations.
No, just like when you use the wound rolls, you take 3. You fail your Dark Pact and you take 3.
And then,
it wouldn't work, and then it wouldn't work with the crit 5s in
Ooh, that would have been smart. But I mean, getting rid of the wound rolls is probably
the better right now.
That's a fun one. I like that one. Chosen went up 10 and 20 points for 5 or 10. Sorry, guys.
Matt, Chosen are toughness 4 3-wound models with no invulnerable save, and they cost like more points than a boys unit for 5.
Yeah. Yep.
How many points is a 10-man Chosen squad right now if you take the third one?
260, I think.
Right, and a 5-man is like 150?
Unit composition. No, sorry. So with the stepper,
yep,
the third 10-man is 280 points.
How much is it for a 5-man?
135 base. So if you were to take 3 5s, the third one would be 145 because it's a 10 point stepper.
It's 5 points less than a full 20-man of Orc Boys was before today.
Or if you look at it this way, it's the same cost as 5 EC Terminators.
It's also the same points as a full 20-man Cadian squad. That's fine.
Huron went up 10. Good. Masters of the Maelstrom went up 10. Good. Mutilators went down 15.
Notably, on Masters of the Maelstrom, by the way, their rule that says they can only be attached to Huron is just gone.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. That seems a problem.
Just gone. It's nowhere. Notably as well, Titus, the Warden's rule is also gone for the same thing.
God damn it, guys. Yeah,
And we
Masters of the
raised this one with
Maelstrom. It
we
just lists
raised
their
this one with
support as to what they can
WCCK. We're like,
attach to.
hey, by the way. Yep. And if you open the app and you look for the rule that's master that says this, that was called like Master of the Maelstrom that said this unit can only be attached to certain things, you will see that it does not exist anymore.
Yep. Good job, GW.
It is not listed as being removed anywhere in the faction pack, by the way.
What are we doing?
It's still on their datasheets in the faction pack. It's just not in the app.
GW.
But right now, as it stands, you can attach Calgar to Warden's and 6 Blade Guard.
Ooh.
In Librarius.
No. 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 Do not. Do not want.
Do you not want to play against Psychic Calgar?
Oh, I don't want to play against Psychic Calgar.
Calgar with +2 move, advance, and charge.
All right. Mutilators went down 15. They kind of needed the help.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen a unit of Mutilators on the table.
I've seen them a handful of times because our locals really want to try them out, and every time they try them out, they get really disappointed. So...
I really, like, I thought I would have seen them by now, but I really just haven't. I think I've maybe played like one practice game against someone who's playing.
I think it's because they need to win games in order to play you, and that just doesn't happen.
But like, I have look, I have a lot of CSM players that I play against, like, you know, the Team Scotland Circular, and none of them have even like tried them.
Nemesis Claw went down 10. Cool.
Oh, that's good.
The Reeve Captain went down 10. Vastar went up 15, and Venom Crawlers went up 10.
Vastar notably didn't lose his -1 to hit roll, so I can see why he didn't change.
Yeah. Venom Crawlers up 10 because people are realizing that them next to Vastar do more damage than a War Dog.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like a high bar. War Dogs suck, but
yeah, they do. They do. Cabal of Chaos. This is rule changes now. Empiric Wellspring works on winged demon princes because before it was just foot princes.
Foot princes, yeah.
Because they fucked up.
They definitely saw that post on Reddit last week and were like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, this is a freebie. We can fix something without actually having to look into it.
I bet that's one of those ones. That's one of the reasons why it took them until yesterday to send the fucking Dataslate out.
Yeah.
We
already went through the Defiler change, and then this is something that they've consistently done. And because I've already gotten multiple DMs from people, you know who you are. If you are wondering about whether or not an enhancement allows you to lead a unit or attach to a unit, go look at the Munitorm Field Manual. That is where all of the attach rules are now.
Except
Fluorescent Vulture is an example of this. Murder Mind is another one where it used to say, hey, I can attach to a destroyer unit. Now it just lists the units that you can attach to.
Yeah, it frequently just says you are support and it does XYZ.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chaos Sorcerers didn't lose their -1 to hit roll. That feels like an oversight.
Is it?
I mean, like, no, they're just Chaos Sorcerers are just -1 to hit. They just have the old Tiggy rule, and they didn't change. I'm kind of surprised. I also don't really care because Chaos Sorcerers are kind of bad, but
Sorcerer CSM ability. Oh yeah. All right.
Just no change. Just the way it used to be. They're just out there making you hit on 7s. Who cares about a Chaos Sorc, says Nurgle and I have to agree. Certainly not me. I definitely just ulted them and then charged them when I played against them at the weekend. I played against them in round 1. It was 10 Legionnaires, and I just.
It also feels like Sorcerers would be very sad into you.
Yeah, look, it wasn't his best day, but.
All right. That's it for CSM. General thoughts?
I mean, like, look, Defilers definitely copped a change. I don't think Defilers are anything even remotely resembling unplayable. They are still probably the best Defilers, even. Like, I think you can make an argument between them and EC, but I think overall, they still do a ton of stuff. They still have a lot of rules. They still move far. They still hit hard, and they still have access to incredible amounts of buffs. Soulforge Warpack has been winning GTs. I don't think Soulforge Warpack changed meaningfully. I honestly think it going to take and hold might be a buff compared to it being Purge the Foe because it lets you play more chaff and play a slightly more nuanced game as opposed to just being like,
it also means that you weren't playing 4 games of Purge mirrors.
Exactly, right? And I think that that's a real benefit. I think take and hold is very strong, and this disposition, like that disposition change is nice for it. I think that having access to, like, not feeling like you're being pressured into playing Murder Talon Raiders to play access to Purge the Foe, and you can lean on, like, Cabal of Chaos for the heal stratagem for your Defiler, or, you know, anything shit like that is also super nice. Like, it gives you a bit more flexibility because you're not feeling pressure to play Purge because, you know, oh, it feels like Purge is the most powerful, and everyone tells me Purge is the most powerful, so I got to play Purge. It's now just like, well, you can just play the one that does the most for your army. And I think that's probably fine. I think Mutilators coming down in points. I think a bunch of the stuff that went up in points all made sense to me. I think if you're looking for like a bit more combat control, having access to Nemesis Claw as a toolbox unit and stuff like that is a good thing, right? I think there's a bunch more units that do that, and I think that's fine.
Yep. Willow Weeks. It really should be studied on how hard the community gaslit themselves into thinking Purge was the best and only
Purge
option.
is really good and is like, I think my biggest problem with Purge is how centralizing it is because of Purge being so popular and so powerful, because it is popular and powerful, it twists the metagame into everybody being forced to build around it. Because you have to think about what your Purge matchup looks like, and they have a kill condition, and they care about kill more so heavily. So it twists, and like Prio has a kill more condition, or they have a kill more condition into Prio. So everybody contorts their list into being like, well, I have to be able to handle the Purge game. But then because it's quite easy to do, it makes Purge not as good because the other dispositions all suck at punishing specific list patterns, right? Like if disruption was really good at punishing you for being a wide army or for being a tall army, like if there's a thing that punished you for being tall in the other dispositions, it would make Purge feel less good. But because you don't have any punish on you for not building to counter Purge, because it's the only one you have to build to counter, it becomes very easy to do that, and then you do it, and then Purge isn't that good.
So would it
But
be
it's
better
not
to be
Purge's
rather
fault that
than
the
saying that
dispositions.
Purge is good, but rather that Purge is meta skewing?
It's more that Purge is the only disposition that exerts pressure on the way you compose your list. Therefore, it's the only one that makes you have to compose your list to do it, and it suffers from its own success because it's like the most discussed, even and the most popular, even if not the most powerful, but is also the easiest to build around and to deal with, which then makes it the one that is the most popular, the easiest to build around, and the one you have to build around. So then you do it, and then what does it have left besides like the fact that it maintains a 50% or higher win rate despite that is crazy. Like everyone
That's
is building
probably, if
Purge and it
anything,
still has
actually
50% win rate.
a testament to how good it is.
Exactly. Like I think that there's a real argument that like Purge is not the best in teams, but in singles, like Purge is very clearly very powerful. Like I don't like the fact that you can build a prio list or taken hold list to be good into Purge, and you don't have to build it to be good into disruption or taken or reconnaissance because they suck, and they're not or not maybe not they don't suck, but they're not popular. They don't matter. They're not part of the environment. So there's no pressure on you to do something besides. It's like if you walked up to a tournament, it's like, man, rock, paper, and scissors are all great, but only one person brought rock, so I don't have to think about it. I can just build my paper list to be better at killing scissors in the mirror match, right? It's
Yeah,
very,
that's true.
like it's a really naive way to think about it, but it is true that Purge being super centralizing means that Purge becomes it's a victim of its own success and notoriety in that sense. So no, I think Purge maintaining a 50% win rate means that Purge is as good, if not better, as you think it is. It's just also the only kid on the block doing anything. Like, how do you build to counter a recon army? There's no consistency to it, right? But you can always build to counter Purge.
Yeah, that's true. Death Guard?
Who? Did Death Guard
Yeah.
get changes besides Death Shroud?
Rhinos went down 10.
So no?
Plague Marines went down 10 for 10. Morty went down 10, and then the Defiler copped the same nerf that everyone else did. 10 points base, 5 points more on the guns.
So
Virulent
no.
Virulent did change. It now uses the secured wording, and you also it has to be secured in order to be contagious.
Okay. That seems reasonable and rational and fair.
Yeah.
I'm sure Death Guard players are streaming.
Yeah. Inflamed Reprisal, you're now -1 when you shoot back.
Okay.
From
I think it should
Mortarion.
just be snap shoots. I think every shoot back mechanic should just be snap shooting. It'd be so much easier. Why are we doing this?
I agree. But also it's on a 400 point model, so
Yeah, it's probably fair. It's probably okay that Mortarion breaks the core rules a little bit.
and if it's like a 2 CP stratagem, it's probably okay. But
I still think
the
I'd
one
rather
thing for anyone to be aware of, Inflamed Reprisal, you have to use it when you're targeted. You don't get to use it after you see if you live.
That is true. No one does that.
That's why I always go, I'm shooting this unit. Would you like to use his ability? Why? Because you have to choose it now.
Then my Vindicator pops the fuck off and your Defiler goes away, baby.
Yep. And Death Shroud
God, I love
are
Vindicators.
now limited to the 6-inch in your own turn. You can't ingress.
Which was weird that it was gone for a bit, but I guess.
They kept changing the wording on it and how and where that wording got moved to. So
was it in the data slate? Was it on the data sheet? Who fucking knows?
we don't have data slates anymore. We just have faction packs.
Exactly, which is a terrible decision.
Generally, yeah. The second last of the chaos, EC. Bunch of detachment changes. Coterie is now priority from Purge, arguably a buff. Carnival went from priority to disruption. I think that's a nerf.
It's definitely a nerf, but that's fine.
Frenzied Host went from disruption to recon. They removed the host tag from Frenzied Host. I don't think there was anything else that had host.
No,
so
there wasn't,
matter.
and I don't understand why.
I think that they may have thought that they were going to put it on something else.
Like maybe, Mercurial Host?
Yeah, maybe. And then Spectacle of Slaughter changed from Purge to Disruption.
Yeah, actually, Host of Ascension has the host tag. Let's do it. Let's fucking go.
You can't take those together. Defiler got the same
I feel
thing.
like they removed a bunch of tags. They were like, we're going to use these, and then never did on a bunch of detachments. They were like, oh, this army sucks. We can leave their combos for a bit.
Yeah. Fulgrim went down 10 points and gained mobile. Kind of funny.
Okay. He's probably pretty good now, to be fair. I do think Fulgrim's all right.
Yeah, Lucius went down another 10, so he's actually getting close to his release cost a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, Fight First is a lot worse now. I'm less upset about it than I would have been 6 months ago if you told me Fulgrim Lucius was going down. Although I do still think EC should be squatted, so
Yeah. Shalaxi went down 25, which is very funny because she's actually not horrible in Carnival.
Yeah, that seems true.
But again, that's because Shalaxi went down 25 points in the Demons book, so they have to go down the same price.
Yeah, I hate that. Thanks.
I don't know.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much every day. Every
they
day
changed the Dark Apparition strategy from 9 to 8, like everything else. And then again, I'm going to say this multiple times throughout as we're kind of talking through this. They changed the wording on the Exalted Patron enhancement and removed the bit about leading and put it in the MFM.
Yeah, which does make that the shittest looking detachment of all time when you open it. +1 move for how many?
Yeah, the description is it just gives the Lord Exaltant +1 move and went.
What a fucking enhancement.
Yeah. All right. Now the chaos changes that make me happy. T-Suns.
Oh, this made me ecstatic. I wish they'd gone further.
They went pretty far, but they probably could have gone further. Hexwork Brawl-brand is now 3DP, so no more hex spots. Screw you guys for doing that. Ritual Regeneration went from Purge to Take. Ritual's a 1DP, so you can't be Purge. Warpforged Cabal went from Disruption to Priority, which is definitely a buff.
Yes, Disruption is bad.
But however, hilariously, the one that is most commonly paired with, which is Secretary Cohort, went from Priority to Disruption, so nothing really changed there.
Nothing changed, yeah.
Hey, look, the Chaos Predator, Annihilator, and Destructor went up 10 points.
That's crazy. I was going to take 6 of those to WTC, and now I have to find out what else to do with my life.
Chaos Rhino went down 10. Defilers went up 10, plus the weapons. It says Forge Fiend +5 per Ectoplasma Cannon. I don't know if that actually is a change. I think that was actually in the points before, unless you now pay 10 points per Ectoplasma. Forge Fiend. Heaven Sons, unit composition.
That unit's so cheap, so I don't even mind.
Work your options.
This Defiler did get taken out back and shot. This poor Defiler definitely got the sharp end of the Games Workshop stick.
Yeah, I don't know where the fucking points
they're
cost.
In the,
there it is. Ectoplasma, 5 points.
Weapons.
It's in the ranged weapon section.
Yeah,
it's not in the unit composition section.
It's so strange.
God damn it, GW. The Defiler is my favorite change by the way. It went from overwatching on 5s with the situational 4s, which was actually really easy to play with the changes to Ingress and Overwatch, to now being able to interrupt for 1 CP less.
It's the
not even for free.
Did you ever play Hearthstone, Jeremy?
Yes.
Do you remember Warsong Commander's nerf?
Okay, that was during the very short period of time that I did play Hearthstone, so yes.
This made me immediately think of that. It's like, oh, what is the Defiler? Oh, your charge minions have +1 attack. It's like we don't want to deal with what the fuck that does. Just get rid of it. Just make it do something else for a bit.
Yeah, that rule never should have been a thing. So no. Yay.
Charge forward, yeah, Astra. Hell yeah.
Eruption of Vitality enhancement is the same as all the other enhancements that res. You now are no longer attached.
Oh, also, by the way, it did also lose its Feel No Pain.
Oh, yeah, it lost the feel. It shouldn't have had it in the first place. That's extra AP already.
I honestly thought they could have just been like, its data sheet roll is the 6-up Feel No Pain, and it would have been fine.
Give it no data sheet ability? I mean, it's basically what they did. Tweet my Overwatch, but give me back my Feel No Pain.
God, forward.
I mean, you can tell they no longer have any defilers left to sell.
I already bought my.
Not that
I've
they
bought 5
have
of these
for
things
like
at this point,
3 months,
so.
anyways.
You can still get them in the UK.
Yeah,
I have bought multiple and shipped them to
At
friends who
some
could not
point,
get them.
I
and
will
needed
get
them.
2 for my EC because they are cool.
They are super cool.
I just like the model. They're cool. But
I just think
EC's on the back burner for me right now. Yeah, T-Suns got, and they were like arguably the best army in the game. So good.
They were pretty good, yeah. I do not.
I think
do
that
not
they will
think any of these
survive.
changes were unwarranted.
Yeah, Scarabs got hit. You now pay 15 points more for 10 of them. But again, when you see people running 20 or 30 of them, that's probably a reason to hit them.
I do just sit there sometimes and go like, I think that Defiler is a thing that I should be thinking about for our team comp. What if we just had 3 Defiler and it doesn't matter what else they do, but there's just 3 of them? And I think T-Sun still does 3 Defiler quite well. It's so crazy
Cabal
that
is
you
still
can just go
really
like, hey,
good.
what if I just put 1, 2, and 3 and I said, can you crab? And then your opponent goes, unfortunately this day, good sir, I got shot by you first, so I cannot crab, and then you win the game. And I think that that is probably good enough to win like 120 def at WTC if paired properly. So, like 5 20-0s and 2 10s. I think that's like a thing that you could definitely do.
Yep. And Grand Coven is still a detachment that very much exists and is still very good.
But will it crab?
I played into it with 1 crab on the weekend and it did not do well. So probably not.
That's why they should 3 crab. 3 crab is
3 crab and Warp Forged and Heck Box. Go.
You can have so many crabs in your crab
I guess
list.
technically World Eaters changed.
There was like a couple things for
Brazen Engines went from Purge to Disruption because I'm pretty sure that's the 1 DP one. And Butchers of Corn went from Disruption to Take and Hold.
Sure.
This is one of the few areas where I will agree with other conductors. I don't think World Leaders should have a Take and Hold disposition. Just take it away.
They also got a bunch of points. I think all the World Leaders should just be fucking purged. Just all of them.
No, disruption, because occasionally you are disrupting your opponent's ability to live.
Fuck that. And then they put like 10-man blood crushers up and they reduced the points on like everything else.
Yeah, Angron went down 10. The Chaos Predators went up.
No, they didn't. They went down.
Did they?
Yeah. I think they all came down 5.
Did they actually buck the trend with all the other ones?
I'm looking at the MFM. They all went down 5.
So they did. They bucked the trend of the other ones. Oh, right, because they're actually
came down
different.
20, but you pay 5 for Ectoplasma now.
No, that's the Forge Fiend, not the Annihilator.
Yeah, the Forge Fiend. That's what I said. The Forge Fiend came down 20, but you pay 5 for Ectoplasma.
Yeah, as opposed to the T-Suns one where it went down 10 and you pay 5 for Ectoplasma.
It's crazy. You guys should play Crabs.
Crabs are pretty good. 8-bound and Exalted 8-bound both went down 10 or 15, whether you're taking 3 or 6. Cool. More of them.
More.
Berserkers went down minus 10 and 15 for 10 or 20. Cool.
Every result I've seen out of World Eaters so far has been KDK plus engines or Possessed Warband plus engines. So I think you should probably do one of those. And Berserker Warband appears to be dead. And that's probably fine.
That's it for Chaos.
That's it for Chaos. Let's do Xenos.
Yeah. Aldari, I don't even want to look at this.
They got like a bunch of points.
They got a ton of point cuts.
They got like a ton of
points. Avatar, Void Sky. Well, Skyward, Void Scar, Death Jester, Farseer, Skyrunner, Shadowseer, Shining Spears,
like everything that went up.
Skyweavers.
It's like everything that went up last month went back down 5. So oh dear God, we even
Starweavers, Swooping Hawks, Warlock, Skyrunners are the only thing in this list that I've named so far that went up.
And they probably did deserve it.
Yes, they did. War Spiders went down. Warwalkers went down. Wave Serpent went down. Wind Riders went up 10 because apparently someone lost a Wind Rider host recently.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
I guess they saw the Exodites and saw they were all mounted and went, ooh, Wind Rider host will work.
Are they mounted?
The Exodites? Yeah, they are.
Is it fly mounted for Wind Rider hosts or just mounted in general?
Just mounted.
That's very funny. You could deep strike your dinosaurs.
You can deep strike your dinosaurs.
Deep strike your
GW
dinosaurs.
Decides that Eldar can't have fun with that.
Dragons Power Day.
The Wraith Knight went down 30. I don't like seeing that, but I also know that I probably will not have to worry about seeing it.
Yeah, you don't. I don't like seeing that, and you won't have to see it, so it's okay.
It still hurts.
Oh, look! Every time I'm like 7th edition.
Now, for me, it's just 3 years ago. It's still very fresh.
Yeah, look, I have deep-rooted PTSD from 7th edition, so
You don't like scouting, stomping Wraith Knights?
I mean, they didn't scout; they just double moved. It was Yunari.
No, yeah, true. Detachment, Warhost went from Purge to Reconnaissance, and Eldritch Raiders went from Disruption to Purge.
The Warhost change is actually genuinely probably pretty good. Reconnaissance is a much better disposition than Purge
Eldar
for
love
Warhost.
playing Recon.
Eldar fucking loves janking about the table, and Warhost was just like, what if you could jank around the table even harder?
Jank around in the corners.
Yeah, dude, it's just janking around in the Eldar chair.
Unshrouded Truth got fixed. It got updated to 11th edition wording, where now it just works. You can pick up within 9 of a Psyker and then drop down outside of 8, and you can.
It was very funny that they very clearly just copy pasted the wrong fucking word on that one before. It definitely gave me like a real insight into their intern.
They did the 9 and the 8 the wrong way around.
Yeah, it gave me a real insight into what their intern does at 5 p.m. on a Friday.
They added the frame keyword to a bunch of stuff, mainly because they had never actually added it to any of the Eldari stuff before. So,
Wave Serpents get to have frame now.
Yep. It was also really funny because we had a bunch of back and forth in the backstage as we were reviewing this last night with the Tabletop Battles crew. And we were like, yeah, the first 2 Skyrunner, Shining Spear, Shroudrunners, they got it. No, they didn't. They did? We don't know anymore.
They did for a bit, right? They had it and they got it taken away. Because it was kind of stupid.
I don't understand their logic behind frame anymore. I think it was just basically if you overhung your base, you got frame for some reason, even if it was just a spear.
Yeah, like for that 1 week that Custodes Bikes had it.
Custodes Bikes, I think, still do have it.
No, they lost it.
Do they?
I think so.
I remember it being in the Tacoma FAQ, but it not being in...
Let me go look at the Vertex Praetor tier sheet.
Vertex Praetor
They do not have frame, on the app at least. Now, does that mean anything? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere here, so probably don't have it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
You can buy nine boxes of those orc models to get access to 27 dinosaurs. Astra, hell yeah, what a chant!
I love that.
Like, I'm impressed, but also Jesus. Just like, you know.
They fixed the planes.
There are easier addictions than Warhammer.
So they don't move, and they have OC dash. Eldred's attached with Warlocks Works as people expected it to. Skyweavers lost their -1 to hit, and it's now stealth and -1 to hit rolls in melee. Yinkarn's kind of neat. It basically says the inevitable death ability doesn't prevent you from making moves.
Yeah, the Yinkarn works again, much like the Sanguinor.
Yeah.
Good change. Good change.
Drakari.
Who?
Not a whole lot changed. Raiders went down 10. Ravagers went up 10. Venoms went down 5.
Skari will be ecstatic about getting a whole extra Mandrake unit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Covenant Coterie has taken hold instead of Purge. Exhibition of Slaughter is now Reconnaissance instead of Disruption. That's a big buff. And Cabalite Agonist is now Disruption instead of Purge. Nah.
I'm sure all of these matter to people that care more about Drakari than
I do. Archon Shadowfield is very funny now.
Again, it has
the same thing that happened with Makari. You now can't reroll saves while he still has an invuln. And as soon as you fail an invuln for him, then you can reroll saves for the unit.
Which, like it makes sense, but also it's going to be really funny when you desperately need 1 Cabalite to live and you can't reroll it.
It's one Cabalite, that one the Clavex.
Oh, sure, yeah, I guess there are other things you can attach Incubi to.
Ravagers, Raiders, and Venoms got frame. And in tied for dumbest FAQ, along with the change to Crushing Impact being renamed to Crushing Impact.
Crushing Impact.
An FAQ clarified that the Venom's aerialist ability does, in fact, allowing it to do exactly the thing the rule said specifically it can do.
Dude, that's crazy.
The rule in the Venom in a turn in which it disembarked from that Venom.
Dude, I can't believe that they let you disembark from a Venom in the turn you embark from the Venom. That's crazy. That is so unintended, and I think
using the Venom's data sheet rule that says you can embark in a turn that you disembark.
Dude, I think we should ask the WC judges about that one, actually. Dude,
what do they mean by this FAQ?
Embark in the Venom. Like, what are the implications of this for the war in, the war in the Middle East? This is crazy.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
There isn't, but there is in the Middle East, unfortunately.
Right.
So,
Gene Stiller cults.
Woo, dude, there was so much green here. There was a whole lot of green here, and I don't care. But there is a lot of it.
Flew full of it. Aberrants are down 10 or 20, whether you're taking 5 or 10. So they're now 142.80. Flaccos are down 10 for 10 to 140. The
Woo.
5-man is still 75
Probably
points.
still not a thing I'll do, but cool. Nice unit.
Adelins. Adeline jackets have a really funny point.
The stupidest.
On them. So if you take 5 or 10 models, they're down 5 or 10 points. However, if you take 9 models, they now cost more than if you take 10.
Dude, it makes them so much easier to deploy. You can skip an entire wolf quad so they fit in deployment spaces easier.
Yeah.
They don't get hidden, so you've got to be able to hide them somewhere, and not taking the extra bike.
And fitting them in range of that blip is now possible. It's possible with the full unit normally, but now you have a little bit more wiggle room when you don't take the second wolf quad.
You gotta leave that guy off, and that should cost 10 points more. You see,
it's the dumbest thing. The glass truck's down to 75. Hybrid metamorphs are down a point a model to 140 for 10, but the 5-man's unchanged. I don't think you'll see 10-mans of them very often.
I mean, you still play them in bio potentially, right? Like them with the
fair.
Biophagus is pretty interesting. The Biophagus also having support now means you can maybe you can justify doing some interesting combos there. It's not something that I would particularly explore. I can't stand Biosynthetic, but we were serious about the bikes. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, we are actually serious about the bikes. It is the dumbest change.
We're not serious about it being a good thing. Like, there's no reason to play that, but yeah, we are serious that it is a thing.
There's no reason to point them that way.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that no one read that you could play 9 and they missed it.
But Neophyte hybrids went down 10 for 20 to 135.
Yay! God, I was so happy when I saw that.
Man, that is cheap.
No, it's not. What are you on about?
That's 20 models for 135 points. I don't care what they do.
They're 25 points less than 10 or than 20 Orc Boys.
Yeah, Orc Boys are too cheap.
Well, look, Orc Boys have lethal hits all the time. I get sustained hits when I drop in. What are we?
You don't even get sustained hits when you drop in. You just get that in one detachment.
Exactly. Orc Boys are lethal hit. Orc Boys do more damage in shooting than this unit does now.
Yeah. I really hope that data sheet's like 250 points when it actually comes out.
Yeah, I'll take the under on 175.
Yeah, I don't want to make that bet because I know I'll lose.
Yeah, me too.
Pure Strains are down 5 for 5 to 75, and the 10-man's unchanged. It's at 140. And the Reductive Saboteur, you now pay 10 points tax. That's the only increase that they got.
Down and Blast. That made me sad. I'm like, I don't really play 3s. That's more of an Eric thing, but
yeah,
I've definitely.
Heroes of the Uprising went from disruption from Purge, and Xenocult Masses changed to Reconnaissance from Disruption,
which is probably a good change. Getting access to Recon is kind of cool for 1s.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I saw Tyler in the Discord saying that it felt like he's definitely more of a GSE gamer than I have been this edition, saying that it was kind of sad that Final Day lost access to Disruption because it doesn't love playing Recon, and I could definitely see that because it doesn't get a Biovore. So yeah, maybe we're sad about that. I don't really know. I've not played much Final Day.
And then rules changes. The most important one for GSE is they fixed Called Ambush, so it now explicitly works.
It's still worse.
I mean, yeah, the character has to die in order to bring the unit back.
Yeah,
but
so
that's
you can definitely you can definitely abuse that with I'm going to leave the character alive. And
I definitely did that too. I played a GSE player on Saturday morning, and that was exactly what happened. He was like, "I'm going to resurrect. I'm going to bring back these 10
you're fucking not.
Pure Strains." And I went, "No, the Patriarch's still on the table." And he went, "Crap, I shouldn't have rerolled that save." And went, "No, you shouldn't have, because he's currently surrounded by 6 ICC."
Dude, it was bad times. That's bad juju. You don't want to be surrounded by 6 ICC.
No,
unless you're anything toughness 12, in which case, fucking, you could stand there all day.
Yeah,
but
Votan, very minor changes. Barrack went down 10.
That's cool. Is Barrack good? I feel like that data sheet should be good.
Barrack's good. Barrack, if for nothing else, as something that forces your opponent to overcommit because of his fort, feel the pain.
Yeah, I know he can't be rezzed anymore, but
yes, he never should have been able to be rezzed. But yeah, now if he gets precisioned out, you can't specifically in Delve, bring him back with the enhancement that brings back Berserks. Bury went down 10. Love it, because Bury has been seeing less play, but I mean, he's just a fun little beat stick and a distraction for your opponent. Carriers went down 5. The Sagittarius went up 10, but only for the 4th to 6th one. So if you're playing 4 or more of them, you pay more. Otherwise, they're unchanged. The Saturation Rounds, which I believe is what gives Ignore cover in the Sagittarius detachment, went up 5 points.
That seems fine. If people are playing 5 Sagittars again, I would like them to cost more points. Fuck that unit.
And the Sagittarius detachment, they get their scout back.
Yeah, I know, but they don't also have 18 billion. Getting overwatched by a Sagittar is one of those moments. You just shouldn't be allowed to do that much damage with the Sagittar Overwatch.
Yeah. The Bolters being sustained 2 is funny.
I still don't understand why they made that change to the Sagittar.
They
Or
were
the-
like,
the-
well,
the
you lost the
Hexagon as
beam
well.
cannon casino, so we got to give you we got to put that point of sustain somewhere. So we're going to put it on the bolts. I don't know. Orcs. We'll come back to them because
Orcs.
they're actually alphabetically after Necrons.
Orcs is the bestest.
Pantheon went to Disruption.
This was the silliest change, right? Of the whole Pantheon of Woe is now Disruption instead of Purge the Foe.
I don't know. Someone
it's the
hurt someone clearly
Guys,
in the
it's
studio.
Catan detachment. It's okay if this one's Purge the Foe. Like we'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder who's making these
Yeah,
decisions
I just don't know anymore.
and who they don't like.
Chronomancer went down 10, and that's because the Chrono got the same change that Tiggy, Inner Circle Companions, Fluxmaster, all of them. It's now stealth and -1 to be hit in melee, so no more stacking it with cover. The Reanimator went up 5. If you're
Good.
running 6 Locust Destroyers, they went up 10. Similarly, if you're running 3 Heavy Destroyers, they went up 10. The Doomsday Arc went up 10. Necrosaur went up 10. You now have a stepper cost on Scorpec Lords of 10 points. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 Scorpec Lords.
I have. Awakened Dynasty plays them pretty frequently.
3 of them in the same list?
I have played against 3 of them more times than I've played
Interesting.
against the Night Ruinator.
That's valid. Tesseract Vault went up 20 points, and the Silent King went up 20 points, so he is now back to 420.
Hey, plays it with a king.
In terms of rules, Reanimation now explicitly uses heal, so it triggers off of those rules.
And
You can't
heal-
bring back characters
bring
with
back
it. It just works the exact same as every other healing ability.
Such a good change.
And they updated all of the rules that would like trigger reanimation protocols. They now just say heal. Protocol of the Eternal Revenant. It's the character stand back up. You don't get to attach to the unit. It's now a 1 model unit.
Yep. Good change.
Veil of Darkness Ophidians were turn 1 ingress, as we said. Night Scythe, we're confused as what's happening with it.
From my understanding, it's got the same thing as the Venom, right? Where its rule just works because it's not an embark, and it doesn't say the unit needs to be eligible.
It is an embark.
So it just works.
It is an embark.
Well, no, it just embarks the unit, though. It doesn't say the unit, if the unit is eligible to embark, it embarks. It just says the unit becomes embarked, right? So my reading is it just works.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't require eligibility to embark. It just says, select the Necron Infantry unit, embark it.
Yeah,
it doesn't require it to be eligible to embark. So it should just work.
I
think that's the ruling WTC are going with, by the way.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one, but it's also like pretty easy to fix.
Yeah.
It's also just not that good. Like, whatever.
Yeah. The Destroyer unit coming in and out of it is funny.
It's funny, but it's not that good.
No, because you just end up losing the Doom Scythe or the Night Scythe. They just shoot it to death.
Exactly.
Insanity Desire is now a surge move. Catacomb Command Barge gain Noble. The Satan is one of the most hilarious changes to the Transcendent Satan.
Oh yeah, this brother just advances infinite now, right?
It is not a teleport out now. There is no limit on the distance you can move with the advance, and you can move through enemy models, including other monsters and vehicles. It does have to finish outside of 8 inches of enemy units.
Somewhat hilariously, you can now block it from doing any of this with Spore Mines. I mean, I already could because distances, but even more now. Yeah, I mean, this means it doesn't get blocked.
An advance move when you're within.
No, but you already couldn't. You had to select it to advance the teleport already. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
So nothing has actually changed. One thing it does get not blocked by, it doesn't get blocked by Omni Scramblers. Like
that was the big one, is that anything that denies Deep Striker
abilities,
reserve setups now no longer works against it.
Yeah, which is probably fine. It's a fucking Catan. It can be a little good.
And it's funny to just picture it like whizzing all over the battlefield and then just saying, I'm gonna stop here.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna like move it around with like noom noises, like it's over here, now it's over here.
Orcs. Green Tide is now 3 DP, thank God.
Good. Crazy.
Dreadmob went from Purge to Priority. Don't like that.
Honestly, fine. I think 1 DP shouldn't be Purge. If Prio was too good, nerf Prio, but don't let 1 DPs be Purge.
I thought Dreadmob was a 2.
Oh, Dread Mob is a 2. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
more
of
DACA, which is a 1, went from Purge to Disruption.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tactical went from Disruption to Reconnaissance.
Naughty dispositions go in the disruption jail. Like that's all. Or naughty detachments go in disruption jail. That's all.
They really did. They're just like, you guys will learn how to play disruption, or until morale improves. We will not change disruption. You just have to learn how to play
Prio. I will play Recon Prio, like my fathers before me.
Pretty much. And then Equatorial Hordes, which is the new one, changed from disruption to purge.
And got printed. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah,
you could have waited till after WTC, boys.
At least you can't take it with Green Tide now.
Dude, you could have just done that with tags. Like, if that was the problem, you could have just tagged it.
No, I'd like the Green Tide just can't mix with anything. That's the bigger.
No, I mean, like, it's a good change, but yeah, I'm still just like, man, why does this have to exist?
Big Mac DACA rig went up 15, but they removed the stepper on it. The shock attack gun Big Mac stepper is now at the second instead of the third. Boys went up 10 points for 20 models, so now 160.
Dude, I think they could have gone up 15 per 10 and still been really good. So,
However, one thing to note about boys is they lost the bodyguard rule, which is what allowed the triple attach bullshit that was going on.
They did, yeah. You can only have 2 leaders now at the absolute maximum, or a leader and a support now. You can't have 2 leaders.
Yeah, you can't even have 2 leaders. It's just a leader and a support.
Leader support. Yeah, so you can no longer do like we were doing you saw people doing like Big Boss plus Weird Boy for like +1 to charge out the jump. They're both leaders, so that doesn't work now. You can't do Gaz plus like the Big Mac. You are stuck or
can't do Gaz and a Weird Boy.
Yeah, you're now stuck to like Gaz plus Pain Boy, which it's still really fucking good, but is actually a meaningful limit.
It is, and it is good, but yeah, they probably could have gone up more than 10 points. Gretchen went up 10 points if you're playing the full unit. Gretchen also got changed where you now have the option of not taking rent hurts.
Yeah, which is probably a thing you'll do on your 10 man on your home objective, but probably won't do with Zogrod's unit.
I don't think it changes the cost in any way.
I think it's 5 points, isn't it?
That's a great question. All I know is that it now makes the Gretchen unit in Armageddon legally fieldable.
Sure. I could have sworn it was 10 points.
I'm looking.
Or 5 points per.
Unit composition. Nope. 10 and 1 and 10 and 0 are both 45, both 45 and 20 and 2 and 20 and 0 and so it's if so the 10 man there's no point change, but for the 20 man it does matter. You pay 5 points per runt herd.
Okay, so the 10 man is on their own is 80. Either way. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sure. So that's you're 45 for the 10 man either way, and then I guess the 20 man you're going to want the runt herd anyways because if you're running 20, you're doing something silly in Dread Mob usually.
Yeah, you're doing Zogrod,
and you need the higher and you want the extra wounds. Mechs went up 10 points. Pain bosses went up 10 points, which is really funny because I think they just because Pain Boys went up 10, and I think they just looked at the Pain boss and went, you do the same thing. You should go up as well.
Is the Pain boss also support?
No, the Pain boss is a leader.
And Beast Nagas don't have the double lead rule.
Correct.
So this unit just sucks.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just getting to make sure we're on the same page. At least something
Pain boss, is bad. The 10 points on that was a stray that they caught from.
At least something in Orcs is bad. I would have been really upset if nothing in Orcs was bad.
Yeah.
So
trucks went down 10, unless you're taking 4 or more, in which case they cost 65. Otherwise, they're 55 points. And war bosses went up 10 points. But war bosses also got the new war gear options that they get in Armageddon, just like boys also.
So you can lose 2 strength for plus 85 attacks or some shit like that.
Yeah, these are pretty good.
It's pretty comical.
In terms of rules, crushing impact to crushing impact because it's funny. Dreadnomb's conniving runs reactive move is now 8 inches like everything else. Go get 'em has been properly updated finally to reflect the wording that it should have always had, which is you make the surge move after. However, they also changed the timing on it where now you use it after you've been shot.
I mean, okay. Fucking arm for an arm, leg for a leg.
Yeah. At the very least, I confirmed at Tacoma that apparently there was an announcement made ahead of time that basically told orc players, don't you dare do this. You make the surge move after you've been shot.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately that's just a good change that makes sense and makes everyone's life like just sane because dealing with it when it's not, especially when you're pairing it with Tactical Brigade, where they would react to move then surge straight into you is fucking awful.
Yes. I'm shooting you. No, you're not.
Vect.
Makar is invulnerable save, prevents rerolling for any of his unit save rolls while he's on the battlefield. This is just, I understand why they've done it this way because his invuln couldn't be rerolled, and he has a 2-up invuln. But it makes his unit a lot sketchier to shoot to take heavy hits.
Yes.
But
that's probably fine. I think it's okay if that changes.
Yep. The Shock Jump Dragsta now has the same rule as the Satan. Instead of teleporting, it has an infinite range advance. Let's go.
Still have the same restriction in Speed War where it has to go to straight line then?
Oh no.
It has
I
an
think
infinite
Speed
distance
War, you
straight
have
line.
the choice as to whether or not you do it.
Speed War.
Yeah, so
you
each time
can
a
use
Speed
its
Freaks or
turbo.
truck unit from your army advances, it can use its turbo.
So, but notably, what you can do is you can choose to use the shock. Does the shock trapper's gun all have assault anyway?
I don't know. Probably.
No, they don't.
If
So
not, it
what you
wouldn't be
can
able to
do
shoot
is
normally.
you can turbo and maximum distance teleport, which means that you have a movement character like a 24 and can advance as far as you want, but it must be the straight line, but you do gain assault. So you can
So no, it does not have assault on its weapons.
Yeah, so you can do that to give it assault and go in a straight line.
Yeah. That is okay.
An infinite distance straight line. You can ride off to the edge of the Venom for stealth aura.
I can if we're playing end-to-end tables, I can just go off to the other to 3 tables over.
And Pucci on his way back to his home planet.
Yeah. And then the Boomdack of Snazwagon. I swear, every time I read buggy names, I am convinced that they were high as a kite when they wrote them.
Yep.
Yeah. So it used to give a -1 to things that were within -1 to hit for enemy units that were within 6 inches of it because of the billowing smoke. It now instead gives stealth.
Yep.
So no more cut, no more stacking.
Theo,
It's
you
such a
should
weird
play
thing.
whatever gives you joy at the GT this weekend. So
what would
presume
upset
that
Manny is the follow-up question.
Stamping on children's hearts as you 20 them with Soulforge Warpack. Go and show that Soulforge Warpack is better as taking hold than it ever was as Purge the Foe.
I'm down for that. That seems fun.
You can be the one that proves my thesis that taking hold is broken.
So there is also an FAQ here, and this is because of another clarification. So if you have a monster or vehicle unit that fails a hazard roll, that unit takes 3 mortal wounds. However, the unit has to only contain monster or vehicle models.
Yeah, which means that wrong, but whatever.
Which means that if you attach a big mech to a unit of mech guns,
so dumb.
They now only take 1 mortal wound when they fail their hazard check.
There's nothing in the core rule that says that -1 plus skill, -1 to hit don't stack. They just changed a bunch of rules that were -1.
They just got rid of almost every single one
into stealth. Yeah.
Yeah. Most notably, you still have the ability to like tag a vehicle and make it -1 to shoot when it's using close quarter shooting, and have cover. Like that interaction still exists.
I think they should have changed close quarter shooting to be -1 plus the skill as well. But
would have been funny if that was uncapped.
They should have changed. They should have changed tagged and degraded to -1 BS as well.
You want to get hit on 6s by defilers?
I want defilers to hit me on 7s, motherfucker.
No, because the core rules don't allow.
Yeah, no, I just want them to not be able to get +1 to hit for EC and still miss, and just
That's
only hit me on 6s. I'd die anyway because they just roll like 17 sustains as they always do. But
that is,
I'd want to like at least have the glimmer of hope in my eye before it was extinguished by a defiler again.
Yeah, Tau.
They got some changes.
Ret Cadre is now 3
we still have
DP.
Imperium to go through. Fuck me.
You wanted to do Imperium last.
Yeah, I know, but I'm considering just not doing it at all and going to bed. Frankly,
it's not a bad idea, to be honest. If you don't want to, we don't have to. I could just sit here and vamp.
It's all good. I'll do it. I'm
Monka is now priority. Why the fuck did they do this?
Look, Prior was worse than Purge, dude. It's terrible.
Clearly. And Kayun went to Recon. Cool.
Changes so little in my head, but
yeah. Strike Swiftly. They fixed it so it works the way that it was supposed to.
What didn't work about this? I was under the impression it just worked already, but
it was that they had taken out the actual thing of you get to make the scout move.
Oh, okay, sure.
Farsight went down 10. Devils just went down 10. The 3 model broadside unit went up 15. Ghost kills now have a 5-point stepper. Hammerheads went up 10. Your first 2 Pathfinders units went up 5, but your
All right.
third unit goes up 20.
Real talk. What the fuck is the point of a 5-point stepper?
I don't know.
Like, brothers, just decide what the unit should cost. If it's a 5-point stepper, just make it what the 5-point stepper is and move on with your fucking life.
Riptides went up 10. Storm Surges went up 15. Twin Lance went up 15. And the Tiger Shark, which I think now works, went up 50 points.
Where do you think the Twin Lance stops? Do you think the Twin Lance stops at more or less than each Twin Lance model costing 165 points?
What are
which
they
is
at
what
now?
they involved at?
190?
They're at 220 right now.
220. I would say 280 is where they stop.
Yeah. I want them to hit 330, so they just cost what
What a single what the
each
unit
one used
cost
to
them.
like the unit costs now what each model, or like each model now costs what the unit cost on release. I want that so badly because it'd be so
At the very
funny.
least, if they hit Defiler OG cost of 250, you can say they now cost the same as a Defiler did.
It costs the same as a Destrier did. They're still better than a Destrier, right? So like, what do you think is the worst data sheet? What do you think is the most expensive data sheet that Twin Lance aren't, or the least expensive data sheet Twin Lance aren't better than?
The least expensive that they are not better than. Scarbrand?
Like, are they better than the Lion?
Probably. Just
That's
for the sheer
265.
number of rules they have.
That's 265. Are they better than Keeper of Secrets?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what's a Keeper at right now?
240?
Is a Keeper only 240? I'm going the wrong way. 255. So I went down 10 points. I fucked that one. Oh, that might be the points before the update. I'm on 39k. Are they better than a Lord of Change?
No.
Okay. Well, a Lord of Change is now 320. So we're only 10 points off my ceiling there if we're between the Lord of Change and the Lion.
All right. Last of the Xenos, Tyranids.
Fucking fuck you, Neurotyrant. Get in the bin. How dare you? How dare you
Screen's
be
down
usable?
15. Von Ryan down 5 if you're taking 3, 15 if you're taking 6. Zone Throat went down 10 if you're taking 3, because you definitely do that.
Don't do that.
Maliceptor went up 10. Neurotyrant went up 15. Hunting Ground went up 10. Chameleonic now just grants stealth. Venom Throat just grants stealth.
In a 6-foot aura.
In a 6-foot aura, it's true. Tyrannocyte's aerial seating is 8 inches as it's supposed to be. And Tyranid Warriors, their adaptive instincts now gets either +1 strength or toughness, either when they choose to fight or when they are targeted.
Yeah, that seems all right.
Yeah. And that is it for Tyranids. I didn't really see much.
We're broadly doing fine. They've been doing well at GTs. They've been doing well at tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Seemed okay.
Imperium.
All right, let's do it.
Make you sad. Sisters. Bringers of Flame is now 2. And they went
probably
from
fine.
It's to
probably
priority.
fine. It gives me so much fear, but it's probably fine. The Bringers is 2.
Yeah. Penitent went from Take to Purge, which, if anything, that is the thematic one that should be Purge.
Do I think Soulforge is still viable? Do I think the Pope shits in the woods? Obviously, yes, it's still viable. What the fuck? Do I think +1 to wound is still the craziest buff you can hand out to a Defiler that now doesn't have wound reroll? Therefore, you have the only Defilers that reliably murder other people's tanks. Yes, I do think it is still viable. Jesus Christ.
Yep. Sanctified Orators changed from Purge to Disruption. That's a 1 DP, so they said, no, you can't have Purge as a 1.
Yep, good.
Rules changes. Hageman effects, however you want to say that. It now applies to
the swag effects.
The swag effects. The swag effects now only works on a Serotis character model. So even though they've now FAQ'd that you can put,
but not this one. Not with
this
Vol.
One. Sister players, no, stop that. No Vol and Paragons with a super upgrade.
It's so good. It's such a good enhancement. It's so powerful.
Celestian and Sidians now have the Celestian keyword. Currently does nothing.
Which does nothing. Yeah, there's no interaction.
Maybe it does something later.
One day.
Light of the Emperor is now 2 CP to ignore mods. Blinding Radiance, which is the -1 to hit for Army of Faith, now only works in infantry units, and even if you use the aura, it only affects infantry units. Thank fuck.
Good and good.
Junith now gets stealth and -1 to hit versus melee. Good. No more flat -1. Not that she was.
Did you ever manage to killing that Sacrosanct squad? It was just so sad. Trying to kill that unit made me want to pull my teeth out with rusty pliers.
Yeah, that's fair. Divine Intervention, which is the Hallowed Martyr's res, same interaction as all the other reses. Get out of the unit.
Yep. Celestine didn't get that change, did she? Or did
No,
she?
so it was specifically stratagems and like detachment abilities and enhancements that got that change. Or like, data sheet abilities if you were not already part of an attached unit or part of like a multi-model
unit. Does Karn still work the proper way as well? Or like the old way, does Karn still reattaches to unit?
That's a great question. I think Karn
like Celestine,
pops
I
out
can see
of
it being that way because Celestine specifically has 2 different because she has her bonus models with her, right? But
yeah, Karn didn't change.
So Karn
reattaches
in his squad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Karn has murdered all of his friends in the Rhino, anyways.
Oh yeah, of course.
Catech's Divine Penitence Enhancement from Penitent Host. It's the same thing that they've done with all the other join unit rules.
We don't really need to talk about these ones if they didn't actually.
No, but I'm gonna. I said I was gonna do it 3 times. This is the 3rd time. I'm just gonna continue venting. If you think that your enhancement lost the ability to attach to a unit, go check the Munitorm Field Manual because that's where all the attached rules are.
But Jeremy, what if mine is the one that actually did change?
The Munitorm Field Manual will tell you whether or not it changed.
But what if I don't want to do that because I don't have internet connection? All I have is the Stat Check episode on my Desert Island tapes, and unfortunately, I need you to tell me specifically if my one changed.
In which case, Murder Mind, you cannot lead destroyers anymore. Sorry.
It's crazy.
Miracle Dice, they FAQ'd it exactly as we thought it was. You
before
can't slow roll and substitute unless it's a damage roll, but that's because you can't fast roll damage roll anyway. Hey, look at that.
Slow roll your damage, Foigan. You have to.
Yep. Custodes. Mind of the Mortai is now taking hold. Cool.
Look, honestly, a pretty big change. Like one of the few builds I'd seen doing well was like Lions plus Might, and now you have to play Shield Host for Might, and that is definitely worse.
Yep.
Not for the Dreadnoughts, but for everything else.
Yeah, and you weren't running that detachment for the Dreadnoughts. You're just running it for perk.
You were not. You did not play any Galatas. What a shame.
It was very funny at the beginning of the edition. The number of Custodes players that reached out to me and went, "So we really don't have to take a unit that fits with the detachment to get the detachment to unlock the disposition." I went, "No, if you want to, you can do that. That is how it is intended.
You are under no obligation."
And now they went, "Yeah, we may have intended that, but not like that." Leia went down 10.
We really want you all to play something besides Purge. We roll all these other missions, and you're all just playing Meat Grinder.
Yeah. The Rhinos are now 65 points like everyone else's Rhinos. Wardens went down 10 points for all their unit sizes. Venatori Custodians went down 10 points, or 20 if you take 6. However, you also pay 5 points per lance.
If you want to play the
unit went up 5 points. This is
Look,
not
honestly,
how you
Echo Ingress
unit
is so
diversity,
powerful that I'm not
GW.
even that upset. But
this is like all the other changes where it's just like,
Jeremy, what does the Tarsus Buckler do? Do you know? Because I don't.
Let's give you +1 to your save.
Fucking, let's go look at it. Okay. It gives you a. I'm looking at the wrong data sheet. That's Venatori.
Oh, it gives you an extra wound.
Oh, that's a rule.
However, it means that your melee, instead of being a checks note, instead of giving 5 attacks at 722 lance, you have 5 attacks at 521.
Do you know what my favorite thing about this is that New Recruit, 39K literally doesn't have the other war gear option listed. It just doesn't have the other melee weapon.
It's not real. No, it's under war gear. That's why. It's under additional war gear.
No, but if you're on does
39K not process.
It literally doesn't pull out. It literally doesn't show you the option. It doesn't show you the melee weapons. It's like you will never look at these. Don't worry.
Yeah, and then you get the shitty pistols. Cool. Which are 2 shots at 611 sustained. Like, it's just flat worse.
Yep.
They fixed a bunch of frame shit. Venatori did Oh, sorry. Adam Minortis went up 10 points. I think that's the extra damage
The
enhancement.
Monomortis, yeah, it's like +3 strength, +1 AP, +1 damage. This being 10 points was a drug, so I think it's okay that this costs a little more. But I think it's also okay for custodians to have cool things, so I don't think this needed to change. But
Yeah, +3 strength, +1 AP, +1 damage. And it's shield kept only. So it went from 20 to 30.
the pistol used to be banging because there was a double shoot pistol strat, as I recall. But
That was exactly what it was. And they were damaged too.
they were.
They were like 6-2-2, 2 shots each, and they double tapped.
You had katars and shit. Yeah. When you were in Captaris and Dactare and all those ones.
Yeah.
Rendax.
And the shields also gave you a 2-up save because you had a 3-up save if you didn't.
Yep. I have a 6 Venatari on the shelf above me right now because I bought them for my my new army.
Yep. I've got
I will one day build.
3
I'm
or
so
6
excited for that
pistol
new
one.
Custodies box. Did you see the leaked Aquilons?
Oh, they look so nice. It makes me sad
They
about the
they
Aquilons
look
that
like
I currently have.
Roblox figures.
Yeah. All right. Admech. Halo Screed went from Purge to Priority. Cool, it got buffed. Because Halo Screed, Admech as a whole, Admech as a whole does not like playing Purge.
Prio is so good. I love
Rad
Prio.
Zone.
I love pushing buttons.
They basically changed the wording on it, so now you're just battle shocked. Before it was battle shocked until the end of the battle round. So now the battle shock lasts until your next command phase, and then you have to take a test again. So it is a pretty big buff to Rad Zone, or at the very least clarified how it worked.
Wait, does it not still auto wear off?
Nope. They removed the duration on it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then Skitari Hunter, they just basically took away all the Sakaran's wording in the detachment rule because they didn't do anything.
Yeah, the ones that gives you stealth and cover and stealth and cover.
Well, it gave you stealth. It gave you stealth. It gave you cover and then gave you stealth on other things and then cover on Sakarans outside of 12, but it doesn't do anything because it's all just stealth.
You have stealth. It's okay. You just have stealth, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, Exterminators. Can you tell me which one those are?
Are they the ones with the grenade that like wounds vehicles on 4s, not the ones with the neutron lasers? Because those are the Fusiliers, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, fucking, I'm not verifying it.
That is correct. They have the Arc Blaster. They have the 612 anti-vehicle forp dev.
God, I'm so autistic.
They're down to 105, which is kind of cute. Dune Riders went down 10 points, which is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that's a transport that's basically a gun platform the way that my opponents roll with it. And it's 18 fucking stubber wounds.
Sustained twin linked 18 shots. Let's go.
Sorry, no, I'll just crit 5 this because nothing else needs it. Fuck you.
And the Vanguard went down another 5 points. Max squads of Cataphront Destroyers and Breachers went down 10.
Jeremy, do you remember how many points Vanguard were at the start of last edition?
Start of last edition?
Yeah. Like when Vanguard released, back when they were like, 6-up invulnerable save, ballistic skill 5, and all the
oh god, like index ones?
They were like 130, 140?
Yeah, they were. Admech was alongside like Death Guard and Votan at launch, like one of the saddest armies
dog shit.
Look at. Yeah. If you take 3 Iron Striders, you pay an extra 10 points. 1s and 2s are unaffected. They fixed a whole bunch of shit in the rules. They gave Call Mobile back. They gave Thulia Mobile, and they took away her rule that gave her mobile. Basically,
mobile. Yeah, that seems like a good, like an easy win for printer.
And they also fixed the missing Doctrina imperatives that had been added through various balance slates over the years, and then they forgot in the 11th update.
Fantastic. Did we all just play those like hallucinating that they still existed? Because I never verified that they had not changed.
In 11th, maybe.
I definitely play tested against that.
There we go.
Like, yeah, this army's
Rangers were 125 and had a 6-up invul and a 5-up armor.
Dude, we should go back to that. I liked those days when I never saw Admech. God, what time.
Yeah. And the Cybernetic at Datasmith gained an ability that does nothing.
Okay.
It has an ability called Data Severed, which removes its vehicle keyword and gives it infantry once the Castellans it is attached to are dead.
Okay.
Except it doesn't have the vehicle keyword when Castellans are attached to it. It is a mixed infantry vehicle unit.
It doesn't have a rule that says it loses.
No, that's not in there.
Is that gone? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything is as it should be, and everything is in its place, and the game is fine, and nobody has any problems.
All right. Agents, you can take Veil Blade with anything now.
And Veil Blade is honestly like pretty gaming. It's got some cool strats and stuff, right?
Yeah, the strats in it are good, and they also severely reduce the costs on all of the assassin upgrades.
It's got like it's got like 1 CP heroic still, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool. And it's got like a a +1 toughness strat, which is interesting and exists. And then it's got like grenading on 3s guy. And
Yeah.
It's probably fine. It's probably pretty good. I think it would
Yeah.
have been really funny if they had made this the one DP detachment in the game that was still Purge the Foe.
That would have been funny. So yeah, Imperialis Fleet, Order Hereticus, Order Malleus, Order Xenos are all down to 2. Imperialis went from Disruption to Recon, and Hereticus went from Disruption to Take and Hold. So they now actually have access to Take and Hold, which they didn't
And
before.
also, more importantly, access to 2,000 point games. To 1,000 point games. The Ancient Chimera being 60 points, it has 4 guns and a Hunter Killer. That is not a lot of points for a Chimera. That is fair.
Yeah, 60 points for the Chimera is pretty funny. The Sisters of Battle Immolator is also 90 if it's being run in agents. You do pay 15 points for the multi-melta, but I mean,
No, you don't. You pay 90 points for the flamer barrel.
There you go.
I
the
wonder
Sisters
if you
Battle
just
Squad
like
is down
put
5
2
points. So
emulators
for
in an army,
200
it's
points, you get basically 3 units. Not bad.
gonna play 2 Chimeras, baby. Let's go solve all my horde problems. How's
I mean,
Green Tide's not
it's
feeling
just generally good
Green
news
Tide's not
for
feeling so
the
hot when it
like
gets
3
driven
agent
up
players there are worldwide.
to say Agent's not feeling super hot when it gets driven up to by the fucking double chimeras full of flamers. Let's go. Look,
All
if
right.
someone, I would be surprised a little bit now if a team somewhere didn't have Agents at Worlds or
Yeah,
WTC.
that's fair.
I'd be a little surprised now. I think that you could probably make an argument that if you had a dedicated and committed player of this army, that they could pull off a performance that is adequate for WTC level now.
Potentially. I would be very surprised, but
I think that you could make a justification that like there is no way on God's green earth that the team that you pair against has any fucking clue what it does.
that
Or has
is
checked for
generally
it
the
in the
strength of
slightest,
agents. This is true.
and that it will definitely catch people out even at that level.
Yeah. I just want to read the entry from Tabletop Battles' Astra Militarum review. The Astra Militarum were simply put the game's best faction heading into this update, and anyone losing games with them is a trash tier script. Oh wait, these are the notes from Art of War's video script. The Astra Militarum are okay, we guess. There are some areas they needed help.
It's crazy that our word is video scripts. We don't do video scripts.
No, we definitely don't.
We tried
Combined
for like
Arms
a
is now
month, and we
2
did not
DP.
manage.
I don't know if they should have done that, but sure.
I don't think Combined Arms is that good. I don't think it really moves the needle.
In terms of points, all of the super heavies went down 35 points.
This might move the needle.
That is pretty fun.
This might make guards win rate like 10% higher, but because it's taking everybody who has a 20% win rate up to 30, not because it's taking anybody at 40 up to 50.
So mean. Caden,
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, but you are still an asshole.
Yeah, that's fair. I can live with that.
Caden Command Squad went down 5, Centaurs went down 10, Chimeras went down 10, Tauroxes went down 10, Taurox Prime went down 10. All of these only for the first 3. If you play 4 or more, you pay the original cost. Cool. Yurik went down 10, Kaskin went down 10. The Krieg Command Squad went down 5. The Lehman Russ Commander went down 20, but also got a probably change to its ability.
Who could say? No one knows what it did.
And the review that we have and in the app and in the Italian
Shadow
version
Sword,
of
Warhounds,
the
2
pack.
Edges, Gears, 2 Enhancements in 1995. Well, I know what I'm doing for Christmas.
You have been looking for that Warhound build.
Dude, I'm still doing Dreadnoughts because I promised I'd come finish my Custodian's army alongside it.
Fair. So Lehman Russ Commander, now it's duty befitting an officer or death befitting an officer, whatever it is. It's shoot on death now has to shoot the thing that shot it.
Okay, well, Hellblasters don't, so jot that down.
Yep. Lehman Russ Demolisher went down 10. The Tempestus Command Squad is now 10 points more for the third one. Tempestus Aquilons went down 5 points, and Scions in the 10 model variant went down 5 points. That probably wasn't needed, but cool.
Aquilons are probably pretty good, right?
Yeah. Valkyries are now skimmers. They lost the aircraft and now move 14.
Sure.
Masters of Camouflage and Recon Element now is written how you would expect it to be because it is based on the unit having the benefit of cover rather than model.
It was kind of weird. You could have split allocation groups because of that in Recon Element, which was really weird.
Yeah. And then just a bunch of stuff to kind of clarify things. All right, Grey Knights. This is actually pretty substantial.
They get turn 1 deep strike and nothing else changed. That matters.
Yeah, basically. A handful of small changes. Voldus went down 15, but that's
Voldus.
because he got the same change that every other -1 to hit character got, which is now stealth and -1 to hit in melee. Razorbacks are 75 points now. Might actually be kind of decent.
Dude, baby got Razorback. That's crazy.
Brotherhood Terminators, if you're taking 10, you're not. Went down 15 points. Strike Squads went down 5 or 10. And Argent Assault went from Purge to Priority. Buff. Warpbane went from Purge to Take and Hold.
Buff.
Immaterial went from Priority to Recon.
Probably a nerf.
They fixed the Thunderhawk. Don't care.
Nick does.
Sure.
Nick once almost lost to a Thunderhawk while he was drunk. It was very funny.
Sounds like something Nick would do. Immaterial Interdiction. It now removes the prohibition if I made an ingress move from the detachment. Basically, ingress moves already have that prohibition, so the detachment rule was arbitrary.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary. Gate of Infinity Army rule. It now allows you to come back as an ingress, and you can do it in turn 1. Cool.
Good for Grey Knights. They can now get rushed a little bit more successfully.
Exactly. Everything else is largely covered. The one change here is that Augurium's Aggressive Anticipation is now allowing all hits to be re-rolled, which the previous version was ignore mods.
Okay.
But because most Grey Knight
That
weapons are
seems
psychic,
like
they
it
are
would matter, yeah.
mods. So the re-rolls is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that seems true. I can get on board with that.
They fixed a bunch of the 9-inch to 8-inch things that were supposed to, including
Missed
Siege of
the
Exigence.
They also changed Sizzle of Exigence so it does work on turn 1 because it didn't have a turn 1 exception.
Yeah. And they gave frame to the things that were supposed to have frame that we all thought already had frame, like the Land Raiders and Razorbacks and Rhinos.
Sweet.
Nearly done. We just have Imperial Knights.
We're so close to done. I'm so excited.
Imperial Knights is the last entry.
Let's go.
Free Blade became priority.
Intentionally?
Why?
Because Knights are really bad at pushing the button, brother.
Gate Warden became Take and Hold. That one's
probably
funny.
A good change.
Dominus became priority.
Shout out to my teammate that went first 5 times at Edinburgh with Gate Warden Lance and did go 5-0 because how could you not?
Yeah, that sounds about right. The Castellan went up 25 points because at 400 it was way too cheap. And now Gate Wardens is you put 2 objective tokens on the objective markers, and a single line from the closest points is your.
Notably, you can use whatever size marker you want because it's always the closest points. The line is always itty bitty tiny line.
Yep. But if you want to, you can bring like 160 mil dinner plates and put them on the terrain piece and say, those are my tokens.
So Jeremy, I do have a question about this. Okay. Does the game still have rules about like closest point to closest point being like, if there are 2 things are the closest, you choose which one to consider the closest?
Why are you asking this?
Because what if I built like an infinite fractal thing that has like 17 points that are all built that point each other? Does it say circular?
It does say circular.
It says circular?
It says circular.
Damn.
Because if not, you could do them like this where they're 2 lines.
Exactly.
And then closest point, you just choose.
Point, whichever one I'm on, yeah.
Because yes, it does have that. Now,
damn.
I think that this is actually significantly worse than
it actually just says place a foundations marker. It doesn't say what a foundations marker is here, Jeremy.
I'm pretty sure it says a circular foundation marker.
It says circular. Damn.
Yeah.
I hate this. I've
been in like 4 different Discords where the discussion of what exactly do we use.
I definitely wanted to gerrymander the line.
Yeah.
I miss gerrymandering the Green Tide secondary.
God. Oh, that was actually one of the other rules updates that went in there that I just kind of skimmed over is if it tells you to divide the table into quarters, it is with a cross 1 millimeter thick.
Oh, but what if my unit's straddling the 1 millimeter line?
then you're not neither. Then you are not within one zone entirely.
Fuck. So very technically, if there's a line down the middle, my unit could be, I could have 2 units that were both not in the same half, that were both not in a quarter because they were both on the 1 millimeter line.
Correct.
Fantastic. I'm going to make sure my opponent measures that appropriately.
All right. That is the end of it all.
Dude, there is... I know I said at the start of the show that this was a bit of a nothing burger Dataslate, but I do broadly think it was a good job. I think most of what needed to get hit got hit. I think
the
a lot of what
cleanup
needed
is
to
the
get buffed
bigger
got
part.
buffs. Yeah. I think the format needs work. The fact that we don't have a single source of here is everything that's changed, here is what changed, and blah blah, would be nice.
Yeah, they really need to implement some kind of change log. Like, I understand that, like, one of the things that's especially frustrating is going through the faction packs, and some of them will have like a change in there, and then some of them will just have the line rules updates. And then when you go to the page, it actually shows you what changed. We're like, can you put that in the front page? You have all this empty space where there's nothing there.
Yeah. I just hate the hidden changes. I hate the hidden FAQs that you have to go looking for.
The hidden erratas are the worst.
Hidden erratas, yeah. Like, I have the thing turned on where it like shows me what's been like the erratas thing, right? Like, if you hit the button that says like show erratas, I have that flicked on, and it still doesn't show enough.
No.
And it really bugs me because a lot of stuff is like,
we are doing the pure digital rules in the worst way possible right now, and it is very frustrating.
Yeah, because like this could be super clean. Like the MFM, like the update is super easy. I just like opened up the MFM page and scrolled through each one, and it was color coded, and there was change logs and all that stuff. It was great. And then I went and looked for the core rules changes, and I was like, I can't find where the CP changes. Like, I'm gonna have to go through and like double check all of the Tacoma rulings. Just be like, did this one make it over or not? Because I've been playing with the Tacoma rulings. Like, I played Edinburgh with the Tacoma rulings. Did this one make it over? What about this one? Did this one make it over? I don't know. I don't know. Ooh,
what I would recommend you do is basically read through the summary that Cliff put together, the PDF one that he sent in our backstage chat.
Yeah,
because that one is actually a really good summary of the changes.
I probably should, but also like, Cliff's is gonna have the ones that are in the app, not the ones that are only in the faction packs. So it's not going to be everything.
That's
right?
the bigger problem that I have right now with how all of this has been handled, is that their data integrity is shit right now.
For WTC purposes, we're currently having to make a decision like, okay, so the Ravenwing Command Squad has support. It doesn't have support in the app. It has leader. Titus and Wardens, or Wardens and Master of the Maelstrom in the app don't have their like Heroes of Ultramar and blah 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 rule, and they do still have it in the faction pack. So if we go by the faction pack as the source, they still have those rules, right? Like the Ravenwing Command Squads are still leader. You can are still our support now, and you can't attach Calgar to Wardens. But if we use that as a single source, the Rupture Cannon is also AP1. But the app has the Rupture Cannon as AP4, but it does have all those other rules. So both of them are likely wrong in different ways.
Yep. There's a serious data integrity problem.
The current plan for WTC is to do this on a case-by-case basis, where we make a decision based on which one.
And that's not a situation anyone wants to be in, because
I don't think there's that many of them, but there's going to be enough of them that it's a pain in the ass.
And remembering them, especially if it's an army that you don't play against very often, where you then look at the app and go, oh, this is what they do. And then they get to the table and go, no, this is what I do. And you go, oh, crap.
Yeah, I really don't like it. And look, if in the next 4 days before list submission that gets fixed, fucking fantastic. And if it doesn't,
and they have been pretty quick sometimes to fix things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if people are making enough of a vague amount of noise about, oh, this is wrong and this is wrong and great, but like, it's not like there's an easy, like, is there a bug report thing in the thing? But like, is it a bug or is it just the thing is wrong?
I think the email.
There is a report a problem.
Yeah,
but it's just sending an email.
Yeah,
and like,
which those emails are logged, because I think it sends it to apps@gwplc.com.
I'm sure they're logged, but there's no way that it's perfect. And you have no idea what the time frame is, right?
Yeah.
Like, this went live today. By the time that I've had a chance to sit and digest some stuff, I send the email. It's Friday lunchtime. Does anyone look at it before Monday when list submission is? I doubt it. Is there a time for an app push by Monday? I doubt it.
Or is it just not going to be updated until the next monthly update in August?
Exactly, right? Like, it's just a little frustrating to
Yeah.
come out of this stuff and be like, oh man, I can see the horizon where this is
We're
all
so
working great
close.
and it's
We're
all super
so
cool.
close.
It's so much better than it used to be, and I applaud the fact that it is
Yes.
better than it used to be. But
The
it
fact
is
that we're
also
complaining about things
backwards
like data integrity and not fundamental rules being
compared
broken or
to.
wrong.
But I still think compared to just like a balanced data slate, this is still worse.
Yep.
I would rather just have a fucking.
The lack of traceability on the erratas is the biggest one, because like if my phone dies and I have printed out rules, like I printed out my faction pack, I printed out the core rules, I printed out I have the event command and all that with me. I have no way of printing out those errata.
Yep.
Well,
And
no,
I think they need to be somewhere. They need to be somewhere, Games Workshop. Please, if you're listening, they put them somewhere. Put them in a format that we can find. Like I get from a perspective of like we don't want it to be a balanced data slate, because when there's a balanced data slate, everybody who doesn't play casually or who only plays casually opens up their app and it's like, oh, well, this
all of
isn't in
these
the app.
rules,
It's not. It's
especially
only
things like
yeah.
healing. Healing is not in the core rules. It's only in the app. So if I look at my faction pack and look for heal for Necrons, and then I go flip through my book and I don't see heal anywhere, what am I supposed to do?
Kick rocks.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I think that that's bad, right? It's just anti ease of play.
Yeah, and our goal here has always been about making the game more accessible and easier to play.
Dude, I want people to love playing Warhammer. I want it to be so easy. I want to just rock up and play games.
Yep.
And this makes it hard
war
to do
dolls.
that, and I think that's bad.
So overall, what would you give this update?
Like an 8.5 out of 10. I think the fact that they were willing to put some changes on the maps was good. I think broadly, most of the changes seemed pretty reasonable. I think by and large, I don't have any like huge issues with anything that changed. I think there's like a couple things that I'm like,
there's
oh,
no
I
like
would've...
big question marks about like points or rules changes that they did. The majority of the rules changes were were clarifications or codifying things to follow the 11th templating for rules, which was great.
Like I might have done a little more a couple places, a couple more buffs, a couple more nerfs. I might have changed. I think it's probably too early to change dispositions. I do think it is. I genuinely think that's true. That
I
we
agree.
are too early in the process for it to be like, hey, we need to change dispositions. I do think that maybe capping the number of secondary cards in hand would have been nice. I really
cap it at
don't
what,
think.
though?
I think cap it at 3.
I could see 3
at
being
the end of your
reasonable.
turn. Like you can draw up to you discard down to 3 at the end of your turn. You can
Which
never
means you can draw up to 5.
Yeah, but you go down to 3 at the end of your turn. You can never carry more than
reasonable.
3 forward. I think that's probably honestly still too many. I think honestly maybe can't carry more than, but carrying 3 lets you carry 3 cards that you could all score at the end of the turn, which I think is probably a reasonable limit. But carrying 4 or 5 cards through is just crazy.
Yeah.
Or setting like a hand limit size of no more than 4 cards at any time, so it just, if you would draw to 4, you stop at 4, right? That feels like it's the kind of space I would be in. I think if you are playing a normal game of Warhammer, you should never need to have more than 4 cards, and the fact that it's positive for you. And I would maybe have considered reducing primary and secondary cap to 12 points. But
maybe. I think 12 would be reasonable. 10, as some people have said, no.
10 feels low because a lot of missions can't score on turn 1. Like,
yeah.
But I think that all of this is stuff that like could be changed in a month's time or in 3 months' time, and it'll be fine, right? Like, give people some time to get used to them before we start tearing them apart. But it does really feel too easy to score right now, and it's my biggest problem with the game is that it does just feel too easy to score.
Yep.
I didn't
my last 6 games I scored a perfect 600 because it was
close
just
to dropping a primary. I've dropped
it's
secondary,
so easy.
but like in my event, didn't come close to dropping a primary. I think I scored like over 50 in every game, maybe 60. Certainly close enough to 60 that it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like I am kind of landing in the space that I don't think disruption's too hard. I think the other 4 are too easy. Disruption feels appropriate, like you're working for your points and that you can get them, but you've got to do something.
Which is also
the other ones
wants to play it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, why would you, right? When the other options are around. But like, it's just too easy. It's too easy to score right now. And I think that that is a thing. Like, it's too easy and it's too lethal. And those two things, I think the lethality was vamped back a little bit, right? I think that broadly, I think everything's too fast still. And I'd like to see like more scout moves pulled away, more advancing charges pared down, more stuff just made slower. But people hate playing slow detachments, and I know that every time I sit here and I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this because it solves the mobility problem for this detachment. It's just movement 6 more. I'm like, I'm 100% part of the problem for that. But
Yeah.
it's because everyone else is so damn fast that you escalate, you arms race, right? You have to find a way to keep up. And that's what's pushing stuff like Death on the Wind, the advanced and charge stratagem coming in for Company of Hunters, right? Is because it needs to be able to keep up with the speed of an army like EC or Tau or, you know, fucking Gate Warden Lance, right? You've got to be able to catch them. You've got to be able to
Valor
catch them and
Strike.
kill it. Yeah, Valor Strike. And I think that will be a continual thorn of this edition of, that plus the eternal rules book. We shall see if that continues, but
Yeah.
there are
I'm
so
sure you
many
guys
words
talked
on
about
these
the
new
orc
data
data sheet yesterday.
Why are there so many words on that data sheet? If that entire data sheet just said lethal, just said like lethal on the charge, and they didn't have any keywords except like cleave on the big thing and rapid fire, everyone would be like, and that's an orc boy, and it does everything we expected an orc boy to do. And I don't think anyone would have been upset with that.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me. Right. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I would say it's sitting at like a 7.5, and that's mainly because I'm a lot more frustrated with the data integrity side of things, because there are systems and tools in place for handling these kind of data sets that Games Workshop really should be implementing at this point. Because the fact that the MFM can say one thing, the faction pack says another thing, and the app says a third thing, that shouldn't be happening. They should all be saying the exact same thing. So that's
I agree.
That's my personal frustration with this, especially because then you end up in a situation like you guys at the WTC are, where it's like we have to go point by point to figure out which one is the correct one.
Yeah, we're assigning a value judgment to data, which we should not be having to do.
Yeah. At the same time, the fact that I'm only assigning a value judgment to the data and not to the rules themselves, is a very good sign, and that's why like I'm genuinely still very happy that they are continuing to do the cleanup, continuing to do these fixes.
Yeah, look, it's so much better than it has been. Most
like this is the best the game has been in terms of like rules writing and cleanliness and ability to explain things. Still ways to go.
One day they'll fix engaging consolidations or ongoing consolidations. Please, dear Christ. Every time
if you yell loud enough about it, someone will hear.
I've been yelling about it for 3 weeks. I feel like no one else even talks about it, and I'm just out here like it's broken, and no one else seems to care, and it bugs me. Yes, orcs I think a little bit skated, and also equatorial is a crazy detachment, but also there's another slate in a month.
Yeah,
like,
and there's
if there's still a problem, it'll get nerfed in a month. And I like even with WTC here, I find it really hard to be upset about like an army being too strong when it did get nerfed, right? Like we're not going to sit here and say it didn't get nerfed. It did lose 100 points and a disposition or like and a detachment, right? Like it lost a sizable amount of rule and points. It's going to be okay. The Orc Codex is also coming in like a couple weeks, probably. Like I wouldn't be shocked if it was on pre-order in like 2 weeks. We should have it by the end of it. We might have it by the next balance day slate. So like
that's true.
It's probably okay. All right, friends. This has been some stat check bonus content. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for joining me. It is always a pleasure doing these data slate breakdowns with you. We are StatCheck. If you've not heard of us, check out youtube.com/StatCheck. You can hear even more from us. We talk about the meta, the stats, the checks, the irreverence, some various things around that. We're live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK time. We talk about Warhammer. If you want to hear more from us, that's the place to do it. There's also a bunch of other shows on our network, and you can find all our social links in the description below. If you'd like to chuck us some money, you can check out patreon.com/StatCheck and get access to our Discord where you can chat about all of these changes and make fun of us for terrible lists and make fun of us for whatever I submit for WTC on Monday, because until then I'm about to go into my clam hole where I mine for lists in the I mine for lists in the GW app as I try to figure out what's legal.
Yeah, that's definitely half the fun of it. And I will shout out just kind of the end, Kara Quinn. Thank you very much for joining. And really glad that you got some rain, because that is definitely when it's rough, when it's been 95 to 100 Fahrenheit every day. So glad you got the rain. Glad you got to dance in it. I will shout out the Red Dragon, my home store, and my local community is putting on a super major, the largest event of its kind in Canada, in 5 or 6 weeks time. Here in Ottawa, we have space for 400 players. We have just shy of 200 signed up right now. It's going to be an 8-round event, golden ticket, all of that, full brand new terrain. So come on, check it out. Link is, as always, going to be down there, red-dragon.ca, and the links to the super major as well as the convention that it's attached to will be in there.
Sick. Well, very best of luck to everybody at that event. I hope you all get smashed by Jeremy's incredible whatever he plays. Defilers.
We'll see if I end up being able to play. But
Defilers, do it. You won't need hands.
I don't
to play
own
Defilers,
any.
Jeremy. I will figure that out for you. You don't need hands to play 3 Defilers, brother.
This is true.
All right, my friends. Thank you so much for being with us. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you felt. And we'll be back next week for even more Warhammer. Buttons. Find the buttons. Outro video. There we go.